Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road, not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards, so do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows, but as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Good morning, 4 minutes past 6 o'clock. Tuesday, August the 18th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. And on o'clock's deal drop, get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings. Find your next car today. Coisty, morning.
Very good morning, Jeff. How are you this morning?
I'm okay. Did you notice there was that sort of shiny, damp stuff on the pavements outside this morning when you came out of the hotel?
Is that because the wee guy drives that thing round?
No, it's because it rained.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a little shower. Just a teeny little shower. I mean, it was barely wet.
I noticed it because you notice it as soon as you cross the road.
All the way
I
down the
automatically thought, you know that wee guy that drives?
Yeah.
He's to fair play to him. He's here a pack of 5 every morning.
Oh, I know. But it would have taken some doing for him to cover the whole of sort of, Borough Market. And
So we're detecting a change in the weather, is that what you're telling me?
detecting a change in the weather. That is for sure. And
Well, a lot of people won't be too upset at that.
but you've had a bit of rain in Scotland.
Oh, we have, yeah, but we're obviously got a different climate, really. But no, have you not been having water shortages and hose pipe bans? And
Not, obviously, most of England. Yeah, not where I specifically live. No, we're coming under the auspices of Portsmouth Water. And they actually sent an email around 2 or 3 weeks ago saying there is not a hosepipe ban.
yeah.
So
Well, we normally get that, but we did have one of the ultimate slaps in the face. One year we had a hosepipe bomb. How can you have a hosepipe bomb in the west of Scotland? Many years ago. The ultimate slap in the face.
Brilliant. Brilliant. It looked like I think everyone could do, certainly in England, everyone could do with a bit of rain.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, not if you're going on holiday this week, obviously.
Correct.
So,
what about last night? Did you manage to catch up any of it?
no, not really. No. No, I mean, it's we're obviously we stay in the same hotel, and they're generally speaking, unless there's a really big event, they don't have Sky Sports on. And I'd had a great lunch yesterday, and
Oh, you went? How did that go?
I didn't want to go to the sports bar to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
To be brutally honest, yeah, really good time, thanks, mate. Yeah, good. But look, it was dramatic, wasn't it?
Not half. I watched the highlights. I told you the story. Come back in full intention to watch it. Getting into my room just at 7 o'clock and fell asleep for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then, but I watched the highlights of the game. Well, dramatic start, dramatic finish, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Thought the first goal, Kiefer Moore, great finish, top corner. Second goal, it's a beautiful strike. Keeper, maybe.
Yeah, he gets a hand to it.
Yeah.
You think, Colwell had got the goal, by the way, there. I'm surprised he didn't start. Only on the basis that in the early days of the seasons, he's always the man.
Yeah.
He scored on the opening day last season for Cardiff. The season before that, he scored in the second game of the season. And the season before that, he scored on the opening day of the season.
That's unbelievable.
So he always gets off. I don't know what he does. He must look after himself in the summer, but he gets off to an absolute flyer, and he's done it again.
I said to you yesterday, I thought Cardiff would be okay. They had a good home record. And I actually, funnily enough, I had a wee check at it last night. I think they'd won 17 or 23 in the league at home, which is very, very good.
Yeah.
So they certainly got looks like a bit of spirit about them as well.
Yeah. It always makes me smile. We were talking about Welsh derby yesterday, Cardiff against Wrexham. Let's get this clear. You can get from Cardiff to London more quickly than you can get from Cardiff to Wrexham. So,
No, we're accepting Cardiff Swansea, surely. Yes.
we definitely accept that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's some derby. A lot of feeling in that one. But
I mean, running the risk of upsetting people at 7 minutes past 6, I do struggle to even come to terms with the Brighton Crystal Palace one. That's the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't mind a bit of rivalry, though. That's for sure.
No, it was great. I was pleased for Cardiff in the end because, they haven't really splashed the cash.
Well, they haven't at all, have they?
No, Brian Barry Murphy did a great job last season with young players, and it looks like he's going to have to do the same thing this season. And I think for Cardiff, probably just staying up is success this season. So it was a good start ultimately for them. Only one agenda yesterday on the show as talkSPORT reacted to Arsenal's brilliant Community Shield victory over Manchester City. They were excellent, no question. So we got the ball rolling on breakfast in the morning before Martin Keown took over and explained why the Community Shield is a real trophy when you win it.
It's a game of honour, right? In terms of it's an honour to play in that football match because what it represents is the two most successful teams from the season before. So you walk out there, shoulders back, chest out, and you're proud to be there. Okay, you want to win it. Let me tell you, you want that in your team photograph. That photograph for Arsenal has been held back, and City, for this week, so they can maybe drop in another trophy. Arsenal will have that. You're proud to do it.
So you really value your
it's a dress
Shield medal,
100%, 100%. You should
Really?
dress. Oh yes. Well, you'll have to take it from me. You've asked me the question. If you don't believe me, then what can I do about that?
Do you believe him?
I believe Martin. Listen, the fact of the matter is, it says it's a it says it's a trophy. It says it's a shield, right? So they can argue about it until the day's long, but it's a game between two teams, isn't it? So whether you count it as a trophy or not, it's immaterial.
No, Martin wanted to win it, and
Of course.
wanted to win every game he played.
Of course
in.
you do. 100%. And it was the same at the weekend. I was at the game, and it certainly looked as though Arsenal wanted to win it a lot more than Manchester City. The result, in normal circumstances, and still to a certain degree, as we said yesterday, Jeff, is immaterial and doesn't matter that much. However, I just felt that the gap between the two teams on that particular day would have been a little bit concerning for City.
Yeah.
And obviously pleasing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's all.
Losing the game doesn't often
No.
for much, but it's the manner in which you lose it that maybe
Correct.
made this weekend
That's
more
exactly
significant.
what I thought, mate.
Darren Bent was back on drive yesterday afternoon. He explained why he thinks City will struggle this season.
The performance for Man City yesterday at times looked to me like they were getting away with things that Pep wouldn't allow them to. So, like certain players yesterday I thought were almost taking their foot off the gas, taking a little breather, whereas Pep wouldn't allow that to happen. Now, I wonder how long that hangover is going to be there for. Because if that hangover is there for most of the season, he's going to be under pressure. And Manchester City's fight would be for top 5, top 4. Like, even though I think they should finish in the top 4, top 5. If they kind of go into the season with that type of energy, then it's going to be a long season for them. But saying that, how do you follow Pep? How do you follow?
I think it is worth bearing in mind as well that it was a strong City side, but it wasn't absolutely their first choice side. And Haaland is clearly just back from his holidays.
Yeah.
And yet he's not fit.
No.
With a fit Haaland, they're a very different.
Haaland's the one if any of them, Haaland's the one I wouldn't be concerned about at all because he can have games like that when he's 100% fit and not look like scoring. Benty's right, totally, in my opinion, in the respect, taking into account the game, I still felt that they weren't at it in terms of particularly not having the ball when they were through.
Yeah.
And you can say what you like about it being a pre-season game, but it's still habits, it's still good habits and getting into good habits in terms of closing down and chasing the ball and, doing the right things when you don't have the ball. And that's where I thought they were as disappointing as any aspect of the game. Listen, they will get better. Of course they'll get better. But I think Benty is right in the respect that, if they don't do things a lot better kind of quickly, then they could be in a bit of trouble.
Of course, trouble is relevant. City in a bit of trouble. What does that mean? Coming second or third?
Yeah.
Hey, who knows? Finally, the reaction continued right through the kickoff, where Adrian Durham was joined by Stuart Pearson, Darren Lewis. Now, Adrian, this is not like him, he picked a major hole in City's team that could hold them back this season.
Quick one on Donnarumma, who I actually think is fairly average. Havertz didn't really score. That to me was a Donnarumma own goal. Odegaard's goal looks like a bit of genius, and I'm not taking it away from Odegaard, but he just sits down. It was like having me in goal. I think his distribution is abysmal. Meantime, James Trafford has gone off to Leeds for 40 million. I don't know if you saw in the friendly at the weekend, but he was playing like Beckenbauer with the ball at his feet. He was phenomenal. And that is my theory on last season. I reckon if Pep had kept his nerve and gone with Trafford instead of Donnarumma, then City would have won the title. I also think that had he gone with Trafford, Trafford would have been England's number 1 for the World Cup, and the equaliser against Argentina wouldn't have been scored. Nobody can prove me wrong. It's all hypothetical, but I don't think Donnarumma is as good as people generally think he is.
Well, personally, I don't want my goalkeeper to play like Beckenbauer. I want him to play like Banks instead. And James Trafford, he might turn out to be a brilliant goalkeeper. He's got all to prove at the moment. But what I would agree with Adrian is that Donnarumma definitely has flaws in his game.
Yeah, of course it is.
When he arrived, he was touted as the best keeper in the world, and he's clearly not.
Jeff, all players do, and specifically goalkeepers, when you see it, he should have kept the header out, right? It's ridiculous. Adrian not giving a go to Havertz, because Havertz does everything right. His movement, as I said to you yesterday, his movement was absolutely terrific. There's an angle from behind the goal when the ball goes above him to the back post to Solis. He's not even looking, he just runs opposite side for the centre-back, whether it's Guardiola, I'm not sure. Anyway, to get the space, and he heads it down. And do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's awkward for Donnarumma. That's what it is. Because it bounces just on the line. It's a good header from Havertz in the respect that he does it textbook, puts it down. Should he keep it out? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's Havertz's goal, and it's a good finish. He has got flaws in him. In terms of nobody could prove Adrian wrong, he's absolutely right. However, nobody can prove Adrian right. Right. Let's just say that. I think his statement about City winning the league with Trafford is a nonsensical one. I think Arsenal won the title with a brilliant side and a side that deserved to win the title. against a City side who were very, very good, but ultimately just not good enough at the end. Whether he would have made the England team and made that save, it's probably taking it to the extreme. I mean, that's maybe grasping straws a little bit. But no, I do take his point, and I agree with both of you that there are certain flaws in Donnarumma's game.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right, but Adrian thinks you're wrong, but neither of us can prove whether you're right or you're wrong because it's all hypothetical.
Is that not the object of all our shows?
Exactly. Good morning to Steve and Jill. Thanks for your kind comments. Dom, the Jer in Cornwall, says, morning, boys. And no for the weather with Carol Kirkwood and Bill Giles. But who's who? That's what we want to know. Right. We'll turn our attention to the back pages
I think
next.
I've got to be Carol. Is she not Scottish? Carol's Scottish. I'm sure she is.
I don't know.
I think she is.
Yeah.
I'm sure she is.
Anyway, once in my career, very well.
I think you're more
I
Michael
wasn't
Fish,
going anywhere. I thought I quite fancied being a weather forecaster. I did. I thought.
Did you?
Yeah, quite fancy being a weather forecaster.
Oh, it's an easy gig now, isn't it?
well,
I mean, it's impossible to get it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Weather forecasters have never got anything wrong, have they?
Oh, Michael Fish. He's the famous one, didn't he? He's the famous
My
one.
wife will tell you I'm still obsessed by the weather, and hence the fact we started on it today. Look, coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back pages, some slightly odd fallout from the new Pep documentary.
Gabby Bungler joined myself and Drive on Monday. I asked him if he thought Arsenal are to win the league.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think it's done, mate.
Do you?
Yeah.
We think it's over?
Yeah, it's over, mate.
Really?
Yeah. They're that strong, man. They went and brought in Guimaraes as well, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I hear you, all right, and I probably don't want to admit it yet.
Yeah.
We ain't even kicked a ball.
I know,
They're
mate.
the only settled football club in the league.
Exactly.
Right? That's what they've got going for them. What do you make of that? Do you feel like, look, you're an Arsenal fan? They had a great season last season.
Yeah.
Are they're the team to beat?
I think of course they're the Premier League champions, they're the favourites, but I wouldn't sit here today, no chance, and say, it's ours easy. No way whatsoever, because there's so many factors last season. I mean, Arsenal finally got over the line. They played a productive way that maybe for some people, I didn't actually mind it. I quite enjoyed watching it, but there were some people that said that they stunk the place out in terms of the way that they played the game, but they did what they needed to get
Well,
over
they
the
did
line.
stink the place out.
Well, no, you didn't.
Well, they did.
How?
Well, they stunk the Premier League
You
out.
can't stick it out and win it.
No, you can.
Right. No, you can stick it out and finish fourth bottom. Hey, I'll tell you that. You can do that.
You did stink it out.
No,
Like, you brought the level of fun down in the Premier League.
For a Gooner, it wasn't.
Oh, come on. It was turgid, some of the
Listen,
football.
I loved it, right?
Did you really? You'd hate to play in that team.
No, I wouldn't. What, Premier League winners medal? I wouldn't.
You want to
Jake,
see a bit more
no,
exciting
people-
football.
people say this,
like, come on, you've won it now.
All right, we've
Arteta's won it.
People
Play
say-
a bit more exciting
No,
stuff.
people say that, right? Arsenal still scored 71 goals in the league last year. Only Man City scored more.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. A bit of Mika on your radio this morning. Why are we playing it? Well, it's her 43rd birthday today. I was convinced Mika was a woman. I was.
I didn't even know.
I thought it was just a woman, you know.
It's clearly not.
Yeah.
Was it the voice?
Did you like
No.
that?
That's all right. I mean, that wouldn't be my go-to, but it's all right.
All right in the sense that it's
Listenable.
rubbish.
It's listenable. As I say, I mean, I wouldn't stick on in the car or if I was the headphones on in the underground of the tube, but
If that comes on your radio, and you're looking for another channel straight.
yeah, well, I mean, well, would you rather go Mika or Foreigner?
Oh, Foreigner all day long. Especially
That's what I wanted to hear.
especially their greatest hit. No, there were two, weren't there? Yeah, man, in fairness.
Ah, don't start me. There was Cold as Ice. There was Urgent. There was Waiting for a Girl Like You. Oh, there's been so many
Yeah.
foreigners.
You too, actually.
Hot-blooded.
Cold as
Cold-blooded. Hot-blooded.
A Girl Like You.
Oh, what a song.
Never heard
What
that.
a love song. Waiting for a Girl Like You.
Yeah, that was a great song, yeah.
Yeah. And Urgent. Urgent.
What's the next line?
You been urgent.
Right.
Katie,
See, that's why I'm not into Foreigner, if they sound like that. They were two hit wonders, Coist.
Oh, come on. Jukebox hero. And be a jukebox hero. Had stars in his eyes. Jukebox hero. Come on, you must have heard of that one.
No.
You've never heard of Jukebox Hero?
I've
Ed,
two Foreigner
sort
songs.
it for the news.
Two Foreigner songs, Cold as Ice and Waiting for a Girl Like You. The rest,
I'll bet
mean, they
you've
could
heard-
fit their greatest hits on one single, A-side and B-side. That's it.
So, I told you I'll get up again.
Anyway, look, it's 6:23. Time for the weather. This is how it's shaping up for Hartlepool and the surrounding coastline. It's grey and overcast out there at the moment. Bit of a breeze coming in off the North Sea. Temperatures will climb to around 20 or 21 degrees. So not exactly a washout, but neither are we expecting anyone to be relaxing on their sun lounges on Seaton Carew Beach. There could be the odd passing shower, particularly early on, but for much of the day it'll remain dry, cloudy and breezy.
Wincy Willis here, by the way.
Wincy Willis. I remember Wincy Willis. Goodness me. Time now to look back the back pages, or to look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans and fresh milk. Quality coffee.
Dom's been back on, by the way, with your singing there, Coisty. He's just said, Coisty, my ears are bleeding.
Sorry, mate. It's early in the
He
morning.
said I'm on the way to A&E.
Sorry. Apologies. It's first thing. Not that it would get any better later in the day, but it is early in the morning.
Katie Shanahan's with us. Hiya, Katie.
Hello,
Katie,
hello.
good morning. You're going to be gentle with me this morning after that carry on you said.
Well, yes, I
That's
suppose
good.
I better be
Pleased about
behaved
that.
today.
I'm pleased about that.
They're going to be ready with
That
the
set
buttons.
the tongues wagging, didn't it?
It certainly, yes, sent plenty of things wagging. Right, I still can't believe Jeff wants to be a weather boy. That was an amazing.
think
No, that was 30, 40 years ago, you know?
Nothing wrong.
Hey, there's still time.
Yeah. I want to know what love is.
That's a classic. I want to know what love... Oh, what a song that is.
Dom, sorry about your ears again.
Okay, so back pages. Lots of stories about Chelsea co-owners Todd Boehly and Mark Walter are set to sell their stakes in the club. So Chairman Boehly and investment partner Walter are believed to be in talks with majority shareholders Clearlake Capital over a deal to offload their combined holdings. So that's kind of a Chelsea story rumbling around. That's on the back page of The Sun, which I just read out there. The Times say the duo value the outfit at £5 billion. But the main story is all about this City documentary on Amazon, A Beautiful Obsession, on the back page of The Sun. Walker X-rated pop at Pep. This is after Kyle Walker claimed that Pep Guardiola never wanted him as captain, saying that they clashed after a defeat at Liverpool in December 2024, and over a month later, Walker told the club he wanted to move abroad and join Milan on loan. So this kind of bust-up came to life in the documentary. So, Ali, how would this type of row impact the dressing room, kind of seeing a manager and captain arguing like this?
Well, it probably wouldn't have affected it that much due to the fact that he got his wish and he moved, didn't he? I don't know the time period between the fallout and when he moved, but you know something, it's not unusual, to be honest with you. Is it getting less frequent? Maybe, possibly, potentially. But, I mean, it's age-old saying. I mean, you ask any of the older boys, there was confrontations in dressing rooms, if not daily, certainly weekly. Players, managers, coaches. And the secret was always just to put it behind you. But you always, I always felt you could never overstep the mark between the manager and the player. You know, it's one thing having a disagreement with a manager, which you're quite entitled to do. I think it should probably be done in private, in an ideal world. If you've got something you want to say to the manager, you should probably go and chat the door. But many's the occasion, tempers, you know, people get carried away. But as long as it is, both points have been made to the benefit of the team moving forward, I don't really have a problem with it. But you can't overstep the rule of respect.
But you want your captain to be vocal, don't you?
100%. But also, yeah, you do. But in contrast to that, the relationship between the manager and the captain is pivotal. Yeah, and that's not to say they're not going to have disagreements or fallouts, but depending on, you know, how vicious and serious the fallout can be, I think would determine. And I think it probably says a lot, the fact he didn't hang about very long after it.
No. Another fun story for you. Not another one, a fun story for you. Amy Hunt on having a glass of champagne and KFC to celebrate her 4
Love it.
gold medals. So I would like to ask you...
I knew she was a girl for us.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
I knew she was a girl for us, Jeff.
So if you were to rate your top 5 fast food restaurants, where would you start?
Do you know something? This will come as a major surprise to you. I'm not a fast food man, really.
No, me neither.
Really?
Wouldn't give any of them the time of day.
I couldn't tell.
Okay, let me list. Okay, what's your favourite then? McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Subway, Domino's,
I've got one.
Pizza Hut.
I've got one.
Well, you don't go
I've
to
got any
I would
of
take
them.
chicken.
Yeah.
So KFC.
I would take the chicken strips, which, funnily enough, I had yesterday.
Chicken
right?
selection,
and it's the first time I've been in a... I mean, the kids occasionally have a burger. I'm not too keen on the kids having a burger either, actually. But I know I'm sounding like some tyrant of a father. But they'll go to a McDonald's. Not for me.
Really?
I'll take chicken. I say chicken strips or chicken at Nando's.
I was going to say Nando's.
Yeah.
You sound shocked, Katie. Not everyone eats fast food, you know.
I know. I don't know. I just thought
Can't you
like
tell?
a cheap meal.
Can't you tell that we look after our bodies?
You do look after your bodies.
Do you know what I do?
Well done, both of
Do
you.
you know what I would do? Seriously.
Clearly, I go to fast food restaurants.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'll do. You think this is crazy, right? See if, like, Sunday night coming in and I'm hungry, right? I've come down the flight or wherever it may be, off the underground, I'll get into Marks and Spencer's and I'll get some salmon and prawns.
Oh, lovely.
And that's what I'll have.
Yeah, M&S at London Bridge or wherever. Yeah.
Okay, I'm very impressed. So no fast food.
I'm sure my West of Scotland working class upbringing there. all the boys will be really impressed with that.
Yeah.
The salmon and prawns.
I mean, the one I would be... there is one I would be...
Oh, there's one. Here we go.
There's one.
Yeah.
It's Greg's.
Yes, so Greg's is on the list.
Yeah, that would be the only one.
I'll tell you what I do.
What's your order at Greg's then?
Oh, no, I don't know. Some sort of, cheese and onion pasty, something like that.
Okay, pasty, yeah.
Maybe
You strike me as someone that would like a pasty.
I would take a steak bake, but maybe only 2 or 3 in my life.
Right.
But I tell you what, just to counter that whole argument, can't beat a fish supper.
No, well, that's
Can't beat a fish supper, a couple of Jimmy Nichols, a couple of pickles, man. You can't. I mean, that's that for me.
Pickles.
Oh, a couple of pickled onions, chef.
Oh, right, pickled onion with fish and
Beetroot.
chips.
Yeah.
No.
Beetroot with fish and chips.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, no,
Sorry, no.
Strange person you
I
are.
can see I've turned
Pickles
that
and
away.
beetroot.
Yeah. Oh, pickles, you got.
But beetroot.
Yeah, I love
Have you made that up or is that a thing?
No, well, I think I've made it up, but it's definitely a thing for me. I mean, if I take it home, fish up in the house, I'll definitely.
Surely the beetroot's going everywhere.
So
No,
On your hands?
when you go and buy a fish and chip shop, do they sell beetroots?
Some of them do.
Right. Okay.
You've got me questioning myself. Yeah.
Maybe only for you. Mr. McCoist is coming. We'll better get the beetroot ready.
I've been cast aside by my workmates here.
Thanks, Katie. That was all thanks to Costa Express, where they don't sell beetroot there. By the way, Coisty, I'm not saying you're being damned for your singing, but Lee has texted you, said, I'd rather hear more of the airport story.
Very good.
And Simon's text said, Jeff would be a wonderful weatherman except for one issue. With him being a Hartlepool fan, he will always have a low depression hanging over his head.
I like it.
Thank you, Simon. There speaketh a Hull City fan.
Very good.
We'll have a chat, Simon, after a few games this season, shall we? Coming up, we bring you more on the brilliant ending down in Cardiff last night, and also discuss what legacy Rodri is leaving behind in the Premier League. Is he an all-time legend? That's an interesting question. We'll discuss that next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans and fresh milk. Quality coffee.
In the traditional thought process of who's going to challenge Arsenal, they're all in a form of transition. They're all in. Liverpool have got to rebuild.
So you telling me Arsenal will win it again?
Well, you would think that there's a distinct possibility, as Martin rightly says, nothing is easy, and neither should it be, and neither should we hope it is.
Sure.
Right? But Arsenal are in the box seat.
Yeah.
And I don't want the narrative to be seeded because they'll start crying about it. But the fact is that you don't want them to still defeat from the jaws of victory, because it is theirs to win.
Sure.
They're the defending champions. They're in good
let's
nick.
not get into that. Let's not get into that kind of
They're
talk.
in good nick.
That,
We'll get to some talk with some
narrative
Arsenal
talk
fans
was
very
there.
shortly,
The
Martin.
narrative talk last
I wanna
season.
put this to you.
Four games in last year, we're saying Arsenal had blown it. Yeah. Like, let's not get into all of that. It's theirs to blow. No. They can enjoy now. There's a new armory.
Who said that?
This is a tough.
Goes along
They
with
are
this.
winners, Jim. You cannot dispute that this season.
Well, they are. But let me ask you this before we hit the 10:30 break. Arteta's next evolution, are the narratives of boring Arsenal and set piece FC now being wiped aside?
Well, I'm not sure they were there anyway, because Arsenal, look, as I say, I didn't care if their winning goal came off
That was a strong narrative
the
last
backside of
season. You know
Gabriel
that.
or not. 25 goals from set pieces. Look, whatever way they found to, they'll be doing all of that again this year. It's every facet of their play. They'll try and pass the ball. Look how well they passed the ball yesterday when they went 2 or 3 goals up. The handbrake came off yesterday, and they got players in the final third.
Well,
that's the
what I
next
mean.
step.
Do you envisage a style change this season?
Well, I think it's a dominance check, really. They were allowed to play football yesterday. This is what you're up against, isn't it? But no, I mean, the manager wants to go to the next step. That is to control games more.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year. meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. We'll get back to the sport shortly, but we've got some important topics before then. Jackie says, I wish I could get my hands on whoever told Ally McCoist he could sing. And in a similar vein, John Paul says, I was just shouting down the stairs to the wife to tell her to shut the dog up. It turns out it was Ally. But it's a double whammy from John, who's in Sutton Bonington. He says, by the way, Jeff, what's the weather going to be like in Sutton Bonington? Well, John, let me tell you, it's going to be mainly overcast day today. Top temperature's probably about 21 degrees. A gentle breeze throughout. But just beware, John, there could be a light shower later in the day. If you tell me where Sutton Bonington is, though, I'll have a better idea.
John's now demanding I start singing again after that.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Ian in York says, beetroot with chips is definitely a thing. My nan used to do it for years. And Downey, oh, you crossed a line, Downey. Ali, superb fish supper, pickles, beetroot, and brown sauce.
Oh,
no,
Downey.
Downey. No.
That is a shout, that.
Just salt and vinegar. Come on.
That is a
Just
shout,
salt
that.
and vinegar. Darren says, Ali is right. I have a beetroot toastie. No, Darren, you do not have beetroot toasties. You're making it up now.
Well, you must admit, I mean, through in Edinburgh, through in the East, when you get your chips, it's salt and sauce.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and they've got it miles wrong. You with salt and vinegar, I take it.
Yeah, salt and vinegar.
Yeah, the rest of the world's salt and vinegar, but those madmen through in the East.
Well, Mark says, Ali, tell them. Fish suppers is, tell them about the Scottish versus English. Fish, battered or breaded? Well, Mark, no, fish and chips, nobody has it breaded. Nobody.
Oh, they do?
Where?
Up our way.
They don't.
Oh, you can get a special fish breaded, yeah? Oh, absolutely. And by the way,
fish has got to be battered.
Oh, no. And by the way, I'll throw this one into the ring. Occasionally, I'll have one of each, right? See if I don't have any chips, I'll have 2 bits of fish, one breaded and one battered.
Black pudding suppers.
Magnificent. Magnificent. The black pudding's a big long black. Oh, that would come into might get into my top 5. I'm not sure it'd go on the podium.
Does that replace sausage? Because sometimes you'd have a sausage down here.
It's the exact same.
All right, okay.
Well, it's the exact same shape. It's longer, right? It's longer. A black pudding supper. Oh, I don't mind a black pudding supper. I'll occasionally go a steak pie supper. Steak pie supper, black pudding supper. That was all. Black pudding, steak pie, or a fish.
I didn't ask you if you got beetroot with your steak pie. And look,
that's a must.
Mark says in this culinary education that he's given us, Mark says in Stirling, small deep fried pizza with chips on top.
Nah, no, I know they do it, but not for me.
You're more into the health food.
Yeah, I'm not. Deep fried pizza, no, and that's not for me. And all that nonsense about Mars bars and all that, that's 100% not for me. Steak pie, black pudding or fish, simple as.
Right.
Maybe a haggis.
Yeah.
You tried a haggis? Do you like haggis?
I've had haggis, yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's like mince, isn't it? So it's savoury mince, if you like. chips and gravy, Jeff says, James. No, we are not going there, James. You know, I mean, that is sacrilege. And yeah, somebody else said absolutely breaded fish.
Yeah?
Breaded.
Have you never had breaded fish?
No. Look, let's talk football.
Yes.
Because it was a big night last night in Wales. First league meeting between Welsh rivals Cardiff and Wrexham in 24 years. This is how it went.
It's the opening weekend of the season, but this has the feel of a playoff semi-final, such as the anticipation around both North and South Wales. Quickly played forward by one of the youngsters, Cian Ashford, but Wrexham have it back, and it's a brilliant finish by Kiefer Moore, high into the net.
That is absolute magic.
Colwell is over this. It'll be a big effort to get it up and down. Ruben Colwell and Joel Bagan are over this. Ruben Colwell hits it. Oh, what a goal! Ruben Colwell with an absolute scream. Blown it.
It is carnage here in Cardiff. Oh my goodness.
That's it. It was the final kick of the game. And it's rescued a point for Cardiff. It is finished Cardiff City 1, Wrexham 1.
Yeah, Ruben Colwell with a 98th minute free kick. Cardiff salvaging a point in their opening.
Quite hungry actually after your chats, to be honest.
Well, I'm surprised it hasn't put you off your food.
There was a little bit of that.
Look, a brilliant free kick to salvage a point for Cardiff. I think Phil Parkinson was a bit upset with the amount of added time played, though.
Yeah, there was 6 minutes at the end. I think it was probably just about right. There was an injury in the second half. There were several substitutions. I don't think 6 minutes was completely unheard of. But what had happened is the free kick had happened just before the end of the 6 minutes. So the referee had allowed the setting of the free kick and all that kind of stuff to take place and take it beyond. But it was pretty much the last kick of the game. And I think that Phil will probably in the light of day be more frustrated his team didn't put it to bed rather than give that opportunity for a last minute equaliser.
That's what I was going to ask you, Lawrence. I can't lie, I only watched the highlights. And Wrexham looked as though with a chip they could have went 2-0 up right at the end, but obviously lost the equaliser. What can we learn from the game? Did we learn anything from last night's game? Yeah, we learned that Wrexham are going to be in and around it. I think they've got a very strong squad there. They look good. I think they'll add to it as well, from what I understand, in the last kind of the bit of the transfer window. This does tend to be where Wrexham do their big signings right at the end of windows. So I think there'll be more movement there, and I think they'll be in and around it. For Cardiff, they desperately need to get into the transfer market. They have got such a good young nucleus of players, local players that have come through. Obviously, the Colwell brothers that came on, Cian Ashford, who started, Dylan Lawler, who wasn't available last night, Capaccio. So they've got this really good young nucleus of players. They need a few senior heads in there because although they played well, they possibly deserved the equaliser, but I think they didn't quite create enough.
Well, Brian Barry Murphy did a brilliant job last season, didn't he, with a young squad. Importantly, Lawrence, what do you like on your fish and chips?
Well, definitely. I feel really boring, but just a bit of salt and vinegar, to be honest with you.
No, that's not boring. You are a purist, mate. A purist. That is exactly what you should have on your fish and chips.
I do like a bit of mayonnaise with my chips, though. So
you're not a purist.
I'm not.
You're a heathen.
No, exactly, Jeff. Exactly.
Lawrence, do me a favour. Throw a slice of beetroot in it just for me. Attempt it next time with your fish supper, mate. You'll thank me later. You will.
Only if you like your fish purple, okay? Lawrence, thank you very much indeed.
Great to speak to you, mate.
Cheers, guys. Have a good season.
You too.
talkSPORT's Welsh football and fish and chip reporter, Lawrence Mora there. Gaz says, a white pudding supper.
Yeah.
What's white pudding?
Well, that's a great question. And I'm saying yes, and I don't really know what it is.
But see, I knew you were making this up as we're going along.
It's kind of the same as a black pudding, but a different colour.
Oh, it's white. Dino says, I'm sorry, Jeff. It's harder to understand Scotland than it is to just accept that they are completely weird. My wife is Scottish, and trust me, she is so bizarre in what she eats.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I can't argue with that, actually.
Yeah, we get lots and lots of that. I assume you're making this up, aren't you? Alan in Norfolk says, half-fried cheese and onion pizza, not a crunch. And then the batter takes away the crispiness of the pizza dough. Food of the gods. Alan, you must have some strange gods in Norfolk, that's for sure. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Great song, isn't it?
Brilliant song.
We're joined by the front man of the script, being Man United fan Danny O'Donnell, who joins us a bit later in the show. We'll be turning our attention to Manchester United shortly. Are they in desperate need of some new signings? Is there any chance at all that Bruno Fernandes leaves? Our United focus at 7 this morning. Up next, does Rodri leave as a Premier League great? We'll be discussing that. That was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
But I mean, it's the Community Shield. So, Martin, you've already said that you worry for Manchester City in some way. Can you really take the Community Shield as a serious benchmark
I think that's
at
a bit
any time?
disparaging what you're saying. Let me just put it into perspective. So that's a game of honour, right? In terms of it's an honour to play in that football match because what it represents is the two most successful teams from the season before. So you walk out there, shoulders back, chest out, and you're proud to be there. Okay, you want to win it. Let me tell you, you want that in your team photograph. That photograph for Arsenal has been held back, and City, for this week, so they can maybe drop in another trophy. Arsenal will have that. You're proud to do it.
So you really value your
it's a dress
Shield medal,
100%, 100%. It's a
Really?
dress. Oh yes. Well, you'll have to take it from me. You've asked me the question. If you don't believe me, then what can I do about that?
Okay.
So I can just tell you how I was, my mindset. Now, really, what I enjoyed yesterday was the mindset of the players. So obviously, that's born out of the culture within the club. The manager's really pleased. You can see there's been a really good reaction. Ødegaard is back in the building, is ready to go. He's the captain. He's the player whose position's under most threat, and he played a big part in the game yesterday. So let's get that right. But you're right. If you lose the game, you can say it doesn't matter. We're not ready because it's part of your training.
That's a very point.
But the thing is, it's still a valuable trophy. That whenever we saw Pep win it, wasn't that often, by the way. So we shouldn't be panicking in a Man City situation. They lost 4 of the last 5 Community Shields. You basically look at it and say, okay, it's part of the training, but we'll be ready for the start. It's a wake-up call for Man City. And I'm saying they need to wake up, Jim, because yesterday they fell below the standards that we've been used to seeing.
Good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast, where we hope we're not going to put you off your breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, who's with me. We're talking food at the moment. Steve says white pudding is disgusting, Jeff. It's oatmeal and lard. That's not appealing at all.
Well, there
is
you
it?
are. No, I'd be swerving that.
Yeah.
I've tasted it, actually. It tastes all right.
Yeah. Andy says lather the chips in Worcester sauce.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a yellow card.
And Sandy in Edinburgh says...
salt and sauce. Come on, defend
it says salt and a slightly vinegary brown sauce is the only way.
That's it. I mean, those...
Wait,
that's
which shop can you go to say, have you got a slightly vinegary brown sauce?
Oh, they'll have them in Edinburgh. Oh, they will have them in Edinburgh. In the east.
Yeah. There's lots and lots and lots of
like
these.
Causing
these.
a Scottish divide here. But...
Yeah, lots and lots and lots of them coming in. Ask Ali if he's ever tried beetroot gravlax.
Yes.
Have you?
I'm telling you right now, it is nothing short of magnificent. my mate used to do it. Beetroot through the salmon. Honestly, it is fabulous.
Beetroot through the salmon?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I don't know how they do it. But Jeff, I need to try and find some for you. It is lovely. Who brought that one in?
I've no idea.
Oh, well, that's
There's
a great
so
shout.
many of them.
That is
now.
a great shout. That is a fabulous shout.
But Elmo, I'm going to mention you, Elmo. Thank you for this. He said, "Morning, athletes. talkSPORT Breakfast has got to be the best show in the world. What other station do you get where you're talking about fish and chips before 7 a.m.?" Speaks volumes about the presenters, I think, to be brutally honest. Anyway, look, we've been talking fast food this morning as Amy Hunt revealed she celebrated winning 4 gold medals with KFC. Katie,
good on her.
Back with us. Hey, Katie.
Hello. So, from food to Rodri, because he has landed in Spain last night to complete a dream £65.4 million move to Barcelona. So he's been speaking after his move to Barcelona, saying it was a dream. We are going for the Champions League and everything else that comes our way, he says. It's been an intense few days, but I'm thrilled to be here. So we're talking about Rodri. And how do you think he will be remembered in the Premier League? He's won 11 major trophies with Man City in his 7 years at the Etihad, scoring a goal in the Champions League final and obviously winning the Ballon d'Or as well, Jeff.
Remembered as a good player.
One of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League?
I'm not sure, mainly because of his role. You know, when we look in 10 years' time, I mean, if we're still here, in 10 years' time, when we look back, we talk about the best players in the Premier League. If we think of Man City now, you'd be thinking about Erling Haaland. Or you'd be thinking maybe about Bernardo Silva. I don't think Rodney's the first player who comes to mind because he does the dirty work, if you like, you know. Doesn't get forward, doesn't score a lorry load of goals. I mean, yes, I know he has scored some very big goals in his career as well. So I think he's a top player. Will we remember him as a Premier League great in years to come? He might deserve to be remembered in that way. I'm not sure he will be.
Yes, without doubt, Premier League legend. Not even close. But where Jeff is 100% right, we tend to look in forward areas, in attacking positions for our legends, whether it's Henry, whether it's Shearer, whether it's Haaland. Absolutely. But the fact of the matter is, he has been absolutely world class. Now back to his best. Before his injury, different level. Scored a winner, as you know, in the Champions League final, Ballon d'Or winner. Is it 4 titles, couple of, whatever it may be. He has been, in my opinion, the best in that particular role. Yes, if you talk about great City players, you would probably go to, whether it's David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, because probably the way we love the game, they are easier on the eye with their creation and their goals. That is absolutely natural, but that should not detract from the job, the particular job Rodri does.
Do you think he'll be put alongside the likes of Roy Keane, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard?
Well, in answer to that question, yes, in my opinion,
he should be, but he won't.
Should be, but the guys that you've mentioned there have got more in terms of, I think, going forward, killer passes, goals, right? So you automatically talk about them. But if you're talking about, I'll tell you what I would say to you. I'd love to ask Roy Keane, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard if they thought Rodri should be in the Premier League greats, because I think they would say yes.
Here's a small comparison for you, and it may be unfair. You talk about Arsenal's invincibles.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody mentions Gilberto Silva.
Yeah.
And I see the parallels with Rodri.
I do too, but I think Rodri's a better Silva. I do.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would absolutely.
Definitely take your point.
He's outstanding at what
that's
he
the
does.
thing as well. If you ask any of those, if you ask Parler, any of the boys, any of the lads in that Arsenal team, they won't underestimate the jobs
they won't. But just in the broader terms of things, because he does a less than glamorous job within the team. It's like, who remembers in 10 years, who's going to remember the great right backs, the great left backs? It's not the most glamorous position.
I take your point, but it doesn't make it any less important to the team.
And in terms of best Man City players ever, I mean, you look at the treble season, he scored the goal in the Champions League final.
Ever is a long, long time, Katie, because you're bringing in people like Colin Bell right now, or Francis Lee, or Mike Summerby, I mean, ever.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that I just think that's almost impossible to compare because of different eras. But he, in my opinion, has been one of the greats, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, probably the best in that position.
Matt in Crewe. Steak and kidney pudding, extra sausage, chips and gravy, all with a dandelion and burdock. Dandelion and burdock?
That's the worst drink in history.
No.
That is the worst drink
I used to drink it as a kid. Have you ever had dandelion and burdock?
No.
You ever heard of dandelion and burdock?
Exactly.
No.
Screw your face up like that, as you should. It's horrendous.
No, it's...
Is that what I was doing? Screwing my face up?
And so you should. With some justification.
This is the man who loves white pudding. Matt has just clarified. White pudding is a traditional meat and grain sausage made from pork meat and fat, oatmeal or barley, suet, onions and spices. It's clearly a low-calorie option, isn't it? Unlike its close relative black pudding, white pudding does not contain blood. Lovely.
There you are.
Yeah, and when we're talking about food, how do you fancy this one, Katie, then? Steve says, morning, as we're talking about chips are potatoes, and the best food ever is a mashed potato sandwich.
Oh, no, too many carbs.
No, if I'm...
Too stodgy for me.
He's
thinking about it.
He's prevaricating here.
This is Mr. Beetroot over here.
I'd need to put some brown sauce on that.
And a beetroot as well, wouldn't you? Yeah. Fantastic. Katie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, we'll ask the question, could Bruno genuinely leave Manchester United? And also, was Michael Carrick in desperate need of new additions to his squad? That's next.
There's a bit of housery about it, and since Cucurella's gone, I kind of like that housery.
Oh no, I think it's a great quality. I think if you're talking about a footballer, strictly on the pitch here, and you use words like, oh, he's snide, he's snarling, he's aggressive. These are good words to use about a footballer. I want players to be like that. I think Chelsea have been a little bit too nice over recent years, and I think having somebody that is a little bit more on the front foot is a good thing. Enzo Fernandez, we've seen it. Like when he scored that goal against Paris Saint-Germain, he's running off towards their ultras, showing them the Club World Cup badge. Whenever we play Manchester United, he's got Mason Mount round the throat. Like he understands what Mason Mount's relationship with Chelsea fans is, and he leans into that. There are qualities to Enzo Fernandez, no doubt, but I'd 100% want him out of the club and 100% take the money.
Okay, Sean?
I totally agree. I do like him as a footballer, but his heart's not in it. And from the minute he started to tout himself around in terms of I want to play for Madrid, you know what? Guess what? Go. The player I want to see fit is Lavia. Now, when I don't think you remember between towards the end of December 2024, we almost went to the top of the league, and the reason why that is because Lavia was playing superbly. The one thing wrong with Lavia, when he injures an eyelash, he's out for about 6 months. So we need to keep him fit, and if we can keep him fit, when he was playing, Fernandes wasn't even playing because they played Casado at right back, and he was the main man running the show. And when we went to Spurs and we turned them over, right, he was the main reason.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not Zvezda, if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well. But they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest. Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning to you. 6 minutes past 7, Tuesday, August the 18th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. 9 o'clock's deal drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your car today. Jill says, hard to imagine Ali was once an elite athlete. And Ash says, dandelion and burdock is amazing.
I hate it.
Sorry, Ali. He says, beetroot is just wrong. Morning to Rima, who says they are a recent convert from Radio 5. So where have you been all of my life. Just added beetroot onto the weekend shopping delivery.
Good stuff.
Don't hate us for it, Rima. And Charles says, every dad listening to this will relate to it. The best food you eat is the leftovers from your kids' dinners, mashed up with brown sauce and thrown onto a piece of bread and butter. Lovely jubbly. Charles, I'm not coming for dinner at your house, mate. That is for sure. I
Don't
mean,
fancy that myself, to be quite frank.
yeah. There was a great text about somebody who's come. Oh, Gordy here. Here it is. Gordy here says there's a chippy in EKS, East Kilbride,
Yes.
that does a blaggis supper. Half black pudding,
No.
half haggis. He says top notch.
Oh, I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Brilliant.
See, that's my hometown, right? Spearheading the way forward and culinary delight.
On the way for you this morning, Andros Townsend will tell us if Spurs fans can start dreaming of a race for Europe instead of another relegation battle. We'll also talk about Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You know, you might be some concern amongst Palace fans at the moment. And I'll also be bringing you my top 5 Premier League cult heroes in around 15 minutes' time. But now, talking about Manchester United, I want to see alarm bells starting to ring. Just 3 players, well, just 2 players in truth.
Yeah.
Andre Santos from Chelsea, Yuri Tillemans from Villa. Yes, Carl Darlow has joined from Leeds. He's not going to play, though. No. Let's be brutally honest about it. Not unless Sonny Lamans picks up an injury. So not many in. And reports in the Telegraph today that Galatasaray are ready to double Bruno Fernandes's money. So limited business from United. Just 4 days to go till they start their campaign against newly promoted Hull. Of course, it's live on talkSPORT. What are their expectations? Well, last night on Kickoff, Adrian Durham gave his predictions.
Spurs will finish above Manchester United. And Leeds will finish above Manchester United.
So hang on a minute. For all your kind of negativity about Spurs, you still think that they'll...
All I said was they won't win the title. No, I'm more negative about Manchester United. I mean, I'm kind of wondering what's going on there defensively for a start. I really want, everybody who listens to talkSPORT and has done for some time knows I'm a massive Michael Carrick fan as a player and as a manager as well. But, I mean, they had 40 games last season, and you could easily argue they underachieved when they had the Player of the Year, in inverted commas. So how are they going to cope with more games, expected to go deep in more competitions, not expected to go out early in the Champions League? So I'm struggling to see them perform to the levels in the Premier League they did last season.
Right, let's get the electoral situation at Old Trafford and cross over to talkSPORT's Manchester correspondent Mickey Gray. Morning, Mickey.
Mickey, good morning,
Morning,
mate.
fellas. How we doing?
Brilliant, pal. We're doing good. Look, all the reports in the papers this morning are that Manchester United say Bruno Fernandes is not for sale at any price. But, you know, is there any possibility the player's head could be turned when he reads or has heard about the fact that Galatasaray are willing to double his salary?
I don't think so, Jeff. I think, remember, this speculation was there last season about him going to Saudi Arabia as well. And I think Man United have turned around and said, look, he's not for sale at any price. Look, they've lost Casemiro. I know they've brought in a couple of midfielders to help them out this season. But I think there's certain players that are irreplaceable at football clubs. I think one's just left Manchester City, but in Bruno Fernandes, I think he is irreplaceable at Manchester United, and they need a big squad this season. I think I just heard Adrian saying there about European football. Look, they've got a guaranteed 8 games in Europe. I don't know how many games they're going to get in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, but they're certainly going to play more games than they did last season. But I think that with the transfer window still open, I don't think Man United have finished yet. I really don't. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about them bringing in a left back, whether it was Lewis Hall or Lewis Skelly as well. I don't think that's finished with yet. I think they will bring in another left back. They'll be fine, Man United. I'm not saying they're going to challenge for the title, but they'll certainly be a candidate for finishing that top 4.
Mickey, I'm just thinking sometimes, I don't know whether I'm reading too much in it. I just wonder if Fernandes' agent might have just released that double wage salary package thing. But anyway, that's another issue.
But just on that, I have a text from Bruce here, who says, I think we're in big trouble. Bruno's missed 2 penalties. He's never missed 2 penalties in a row for us. Something else is on his mind.
I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Mickey, I want to ask you, mate. You touched on it there. Last year, clearly not an ideal situation for United, but I don't think there's any doubt the lack of cup fixtures in Europe certainly helped them. Surely, mate. Surely they need some new signings to bolster the squad for the fixtures for this season.
Yeah, they've got to bring faces in, Coisty, now. I think they know that they need numbers. They definitely need, well, I would say, another holder midfield player as well. I mean, let's not forget Casemiro went.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is they didn't get any funds for him. He's walked out of the door. And we know that Man United, where they found £250 million last season, I think everybody was scratching their head at. We don't know where that came from. I think it came through sponsorships and advertisement through the club. They were very clever in doing that. But I think they'll find the funds to try and bring in a left back, whether it is a holder midfield player, another centre half, right back's being talked about. They could probably do with another striker. I think the big talking point is what's going to happen with Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
I said that he'd have to come out and say an almighty statement to stay at the football club. I hope he does that. Because if you think about a forward line of Cunha, Rashford and Mbeumo, and I'm just talking about three there, I know there's Ahmad to come into that and Sesko. It's not a bad forward line if they're going to be a counter-attacking team, which they have been over the last couple of seasons. They improved last season, Man United, tenfold under Michael.
Yep.
And I think if Michael can get the best out of them again, and obviously with a few additions, they'll be fine. Again, you're looking at the squad now, and this transfer window's still open. I think there's going to be a few clubs going to be waiting until that last week of the transfer window, which we're not far away from
why
now.
would you do that, though? I mean, don't they know the Premier League starts this weekend, and don't they know that points this weekend count just as well as points later in the season?
And also in addition to that, Mickey, I think the price that you'll pay goes up as the window gets nearer. Yeah.
Well, guys, I don't think Man United are shopping at the top shelf anymore. I really don't. When you look at the players that Liverpool are interested in, you look at the players that Arsenal are interested in, I think that's where Man United are going to try and get back to. But I don't think they've got the funds to go out and spend £120 million on any individual player anymore. You look at the signing of Yuri Tillemans, whatever it was, £30-odd million. I mean, I think he's a wonderful signing. There's no question of that. I think he really is.
Yeah.
They've brought in younger players as well, which I think is a direction that Man United are going on because they need energy. They need strength, obviously, to help them out this season. But the days of Man United, certainly over the next couple of seasons, of going out and spending £80-90 million on an individual player, I think they've gone for now. You're right in saying that they need players walking through the door because I think the squad needs to improve. I expected individuals to lose centre half, maybe Mazraoui, but they're still there. And I think the reason they're still there is because they need numbers in the door at the moment. How well they're going to do this season, I really don't know. But as I mentioned before, they've got 8 guaranteed European games. 1 Carabao Cup, 1 FA Cup when they come around. And I think before this transfer window closes, I think you're right. Players need to walk in, but they can't go for the players that they want right now because they're probably not available until the other clubs do their business.
Mickey, thanks so much,
Thanks,
mate.
Mickey. Good to see you, mate.
Thanks, guys.
talkSPORT's Manchester correspondent there, Mickey Gray. Don't forget, Man United's first game of the season is live right here on talkSPORT Saturday lunchtime as they go to Hull. That comes after the Premier League opener, Arsenal hosting Coventry, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. That is, of course, on Friday night. Here's an interesting question, one we'll have to leave to discuss a bit later on, but Webbo's texted in and said, lads, who would you have in your starting 11, Bruno Fernandes or Rodri? And that's a really great question, Webbo. Thank you so much for that.
Who asked that?
Webbo.
He's capable of a good question, Webbo, isn't he?
Chris in Nottingham, after a heavy night out, apart from a full English, you cannot beat a bacon and beetroot cob. Don't knock it till you try.
One of the boys is done taking umbrage with me saying that we don't really do fast food, when every Monday morning I generally talk about a curry or a Chinese at the weekend. There's definitely double standards with me.
Wait,
I'm not counting that as a carrier.
That's not fast food. Curry,
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. Coming up, we'll continue our Premier League countdown. I'm going to bring you my top 5 Premier League cult heroes.
You wouldn't swap one Europa for one Prem.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Two.
obviously.
You're swapping two, Jay. You are.
Dunno.
Jay, you are.
Maybe two. Don't know, though. Like, them nights as a final, you've been in cup finals. Them nights, you never give them
Jay,
up.
I've been two. And do you know what? I don't want to bring it up, yeah? You cost me one of them.
What do you mean I cost you one of them?
You missed the pen. So
Hold on. Wait, hold on. I didn't see you taking one.
I said to Harry, I'll take one.
No.
You take five.
No. Let's have this out. Don't be
Yeah.
blaming me for your Carabao Cup loss, all right? Because I took the first pen and Darren Bent was nowhere to be seen.
And listen, I'm going to tell you the exact truth of what happened.
No,
At the time, I was a penalty taker. I said to Harry, I'll take one. He said, no, you take five. I went,
No, Robbie Keane took 5.
No, I was supposed to take 5.
Right.
And he said, you took one. So it never got to me. I never got to take one.
Yeah, but the 5th penalty on that night was Robbie Keane.
No, it's me.
Nah, you're lying.
Ask Keno. I don't know if you can remember, but...
Nah, you're lying.
I was 5.
You're lying.
I was the penalty taker at the time. So
why don't you take one?
Because I said to Harry, he said, no, 5.
Nah, I disagree, mate. I think you bottled it.
Hey, listen. Hey, have you seen the pen, Bill? I
did not cost you a Carabao Cup.
You did, mate.
Where were you in the 90 mins?
That could have been 2, mate. That could have been 2 for me. No. Cheers, Jake.
That still haunts me, that does.
Does it?
Yeah, it hurts my feelings. I think about it a lot.
Ben Foss had the game of his life, mate.
Yeah.
He won man of the match that game as well.
Mate, it hurts. That game's on as well all the time. They play that game a lot. It's such a bad game.
Do you know what, right? I don't really like giving you credit, but I felt for you in the first one because you were playing well in that period.
Oh, I know.
And he left you out completely.
Yeah,
I felt for you in that.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist is with me. Coisty, all of your talk about breaded fish and beetroot means we're a bit pushed for time, but I have to ask you, that Webbo question, who do you have in your starting 11, Bruno Fernandes or Rodri?
Well, I gave you the answer, right, and it's an either or, right? But you could play the two of them, but if you're asking me one,
yeah,
I'd probably take Rodri, because for the simple reason, in my opinion, there are less. As brilliant as Bruno Fernandes is, and I like him a lot, don't think he had a particularly great World Cup, but I like Bruno Fernandes. I think the job that he does, there's maybe 2 or 3 players capable of doing that, whereas I think Rodri is the best at doing what he does by a mile.
Okay.
Really. Have Rodri in with a Gerrard and a Lampard and a Keane. Scholes, it's mouth-watering prospect.
It's a really interesting debate,
Yes.
Because they're such different
Of
players.
course.
Obviously, Bruno Fernandes.
That's why you need to know.
Such different.
That's why, in many ways, you need to know you need to know the rest of your squad.
Yeah.
You know, you need to know the rest of your team.
If you've got a McCoist in your starting lineup, you're going for Rodri because you need someone to do the running. I mean,
there's no doubt you're doing that anyway.
Right, it is time for our next coffee break.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans, fresh milk, real signature taste.
And we're continuing our countdown at the start of the Premier League season, just 4 days away. We want to talk about club cult heroes, as this week, 14 years ago, Swansea signed this man.
To Guzman, onto Michu. Michu to shoot! One chance, one goal, Swansea in front, and the White Dove has swooped again.
Michu scored 20 goals for Swansea during his time in the top flight, as well as 2 in their victorious EFL Cup run in 2012 to 13, 4 goals in Europe as well. So absolutely brilliant as far as Swansea. He's definitely a Swansea cult hero. Now, I've got 5. I'm not saying these are the top 5. I'm not. But I've got 5 players I would argue are cult heroes at their respective clubs.
Yeah.
So here's the first one. If I tell you he was a Costa Rican striker, you'll know straight away, I think. Paulo Wanchope.
Yes.
Mazy dribble. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
His debut at Old Trafford beat about 4 players. Nobody knew where he was heading, including Paulo Wanchope, and he scores past Peter Schmeichel. I mean, he had a good goal-scoring record as well at Derby and Man City. Did okay at West Ham, but I think Paulo Wanchope, definitely a cult hero as far as Derby fans are concerned.
Couldn't disagree with that.
The next one, he sort of took over from a cult hero because he took over from the pajamaed Gabor Kirai at Crystal Palace as Julian Speroni. Or, as Paul Merson always insisted on calling him, Julian Peroni.
I think he was at Dundee for a while.
He was, yeah. He had 2 or 3 years at Dundee. Then he had 15 years at Crystal Palace.
Did he really?
15 years, yeah. He wasn't always in the team, by the way, either. And when it was time for him to go, finally to go, hang up his boots, Roy Hodgson was in charge, and Roy Hodgson offered him the chance to start against Bournemouth in the final game of the season, and he turned it down. Didn't want to,
I thank you. Didn't want
that big.
Didn't want charity.
No, exactly. Didn't want charity. Bit of class, I think that. Here's number 3. I view this fella as the predecessor of Kvaratskhelia, if you like. And that was Man City's Georgie King-Cladze.
Oh, yeah, I loved wee man.
Yeah,
yes.
He was incredible, wasn't he?
Great wee left
and
foot.
You know the things I was reading about? He lived in a hotel. He barely spoke English. Apparently, he was often late for training because he struggled to drive on the left-hand side in England, and he couldn't understand most of the road signs either. So he was a liability on the road, but he was one of the great entertainers, even if he did run up a few blind alleys as well, by the way, in his time. My next one, he only played 48 games for his club. He turned up to sign wearing a fur coat, and it was Tino Asprilla at Newcastle. Under Kevin Keegan, one of the entertainers.
Who could forget? Was it the hat-trick against...
Everybody remembers the hat-trick against Barcelona, St James's Park, Newcastle win 3-2. My goodness me. Here's some of the stories about him, none of which were repeatable, by the way.
He was a boy,
he was a boy, as you rightly say. And the last one for me, and it's just somebody I couldn't leave out of the list. He was more than a cult hero because he was a brilliant footballer as well. He was volcanic. We all remember him pushing the referee, Paul Alcock, over. We all remember him catching the ball when an Everton player was injured. It was the genius that was Paolo Di Canio.
I love Di Canio,
I did too.
I thought he's the only player that left me scratching my head. We played him at Ibrox, Jeff, right? And he took a corner and he got nodded back to him. And I was in the front post and I ran out to close him down. And he went by me, and I don't even know what happened to this day. Do you know what I mean? I had to watch it in telly to see what he did to get by me. He was brilliant, Paolo.
Yeah,
really was.
Absolutely brilliant.
I've written a couple down. Right.
Before you do, James has texted and said, I love the sound of that. A deep-fried Paulo Wanchope. Go on, off you go.
What about JJ Okocha?
Yeah, a brilliant player. glorious. And it sort of shows up the lie about Sam Allardyce that he only had one way of playing, because he didn't. He had some wonderful footballers like JJ Okocha, Yuri Djorkaeff was there as well, Ivan Campo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'll throw another one at you, cult hero, Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
Must come into that category.
Vinnie was definitely.
Must come into that. And I've written another couple down here, right? What about our very own Ray Parlour?
Yeah.
Must. Absolutely. Absolutely comes into that category. And I've written one down as well, and it's in the same kind of comparison as Di Canio, because this guy, for me, and you know him well, scored more great goals than probably anybody on the planet, out with maybe Messi had come into the equation, Ronaldo, Latis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, somebody sent me a video yesterday.
Oh man, of his goals.
You know something?
They're just ridiculous. They're all ridiculous.
I'm telling you right now, I sat and watched it 5 times.
Yeah.
And I just about applauded every one of them.
Yeah, it's impossible to pick the best.
I mean, take Messi out of the equation, right?
Yeah.
Has there been a greater goal scorer of great goals?
Yeah, that's what he did. He was a scorer of great goals.
Magnificent.
Absolutely magnificent. Look, cult heroes, we're going to get millions of these. Cammy says Seamus Coleman at Everton. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd agree, but I would add one to that. Tony Hibbert.
Yeah.
He was definitely a cult hero at Goodison.
Seamus Coleman, man. What a servant in that football club. What a man.
Yeah. Stephen says JJ Okocha, number 1 cult hero. John at Deb's Ironing Shop says the mighty Tony Yeboah.
Remember he had a period, a couple of his goals. Dear me.
Incredible. Yeah, he used to win goal of the month, goal of the season, didn't he? Ryan, Newcastle fan says, had him Ben Arthur and Alan St. Maximin.
Yeah.
Which were both terrific. Ryan also says, a different Ryan, says Arsenal cult hero, Kim, I think, you may not pronounce this, killed Kallstrom, signed on loan with a broken back. Scored in the penalty shootout to take us to the FA Cup final in 2014, where we ended our 9-year-long trophy drought. Absolutely love him. I don't think anybody outside of Arsenal would.
That's why it's cult heroes. That's the things fans remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Cult hero at Bradford City. Any idea who this guy's going to tell us was a cult hero at Bradford City? Pal of yours?
Yeah, Stuart McCall.
Stuart McCall.
Yeah, had to be.
Absolutely right.
Cult hero Rangers as well, to be quite frank with you.
We will never forget Stuart falling off the front of that
Best
car.
ever.
Brilliant. Absolutely priceless.
Well, funnily enough, I spoke to the wee man and when did I phone him? I phoned him Saturday before his game to wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Great lad, Stuart.
Yeah, Simon says cult heroes, Dean Windass at Hull.
Well, that's who I thought you were going to go with Bradford as well.
Yeah, no, but obviously scoring a huge goal. Well, he scored a lot of goals. And Jace says Paul McGrath at Manchester United. A lot of cult heroes. Keep them coming. Yeah. We'd love to know who the cult heroes in your view from your club. And that was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the transfer market and how on earth City are going to replace Rodri. That's next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans, fresh milk, real signature taste.
Cricket, what? But I know Chelsea had a deadline for Fernandes, but it looks like Rodri's obviously on his way to Spain, Barcelona. I think he's going over there today. Would they go back in? It seems common sense, and particularly after watching that yesterday, would they go back to Chelsea, do you think, City?
I think it's almost nailed on that they're going to chance their arm there. Rodri deal was agreed overnight, £65 million, which is always the magic number. As far as Manchester City are concerned, he's agreed a 4-year deal. They're going to sell to Gianni Reinders as well. Those transfer fees combined will be enough to match Chelsea's £120 million asking price for Enzo Fernandez. Now, obviously, sources telling us on Friday that the 5 o'clock deadline had passed. No written bids have been received. Therefore, Enzo Fernandez would stay a Chelsea player. I'm not convinced that was as hard a deadline as maybe it's being made out.
What about Jamie Vardy, Crookie? We're reading reports that he's had an offer from Brazil.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because Jamie Vardy still looks in top physical condition. Obviously did pretty well in his stint over in Italy. I think he'd prefer a return to English football, if I'm honest, but I wouldn't totally rule out a move to Brazil. Who knows, that might be the next chapter of the documentary that I've just started watching about his incredible career. But he's certainly got no shortage of interest. Sheffield Wednesday, his boyhood club, of chance their arm, but I think financially that's quite a difficult deal for the Owls to do.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and on o'clock it's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online with a million cult heroes and as Michu signed.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Swansea for 14 years ago today, so Ali's got a lot to choose from. We're going to get him to rank his top 5 later in the programme. Just going to run through a few very quickly. Stu in Telford says Benito Carboni,
yes,
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yes.
Mustafa Hadji, who was what? Coventry? Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Big dunk. Dave says many Everton fans say that.
That's a shout.
Kevin Luton says inevitably Mick Harford. Absolutely correct.
Brilliant.
Graham says, I know it's in the 70s. Still counts, Graham. How about Charlie George?
Charlie George.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yes.
Lee in Sheffield. Chris Basham at Sheffield United, the ultimate pro. Andy's cult heroes at Dundee United. Craig Easton, Jason DeVos.
Yep.
Elsewhere, Newcastle, Timuri Ketsbaya, completely unhinged, says Darren.
Yeah.
Alan in Hamilton says cult hero Andy Dibble at Rangers. If you know,
I'm having it.
you know.
I'm having it.
He
I'm
says,
having it.
Yeah, and there are just dozens. Nick, who's a Liverpool fan, says Steve Bull at Wolves, Cyril Regis at Coventry. These are all fantastic shouts. Ben from Kent. Jan Kermagant for Charlton. What a player he was. Part of Chris Powell's League One title-winning team. Keep them coming. Right, domestic football is back, but the transfer window is still open. So right now it's time for this.
Rookies Roundup, right here every day. Rookies Roundup, which players are on their way? If an agent's got a story.
Hello, Alex Crook. What you got for me?
Rookie gets it first.
Yeehaw, cowboy! There's a snake in my boot.
You love that, don't you, Coisty? You love it.
It's my favourite. It might be my favourite of all time.
Brilliant, absolutely. Just a day over 2 weeks left of the summer window. Plenty of business still to come then, and some of these sides, they need to get their business done quickly.
Yes.
Let's get the latest now with talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Morning, Crookie. How are you, pal?
Yeah, morning, boys. Very good. Can I chuck in Diego Forlan as a cult hero? Didn't have the best score at Man United, but scored twice at Anfield.
Absolutely.
They still sing his name.
Look, well, let's start with United then, because you know all the papers are full of the Bruno Fernandes stuff. That Galatasaray winning to double his salary would be a disaster for United, wouldn't it? There's no temptation to sell, surely.
No, I don't think so. He had a £57 million release clause in his contract that could be activated by overseas clubs, but that's now expired. So I think it would take a huge financial offer to Manchester United as well as to Bruno Fernandes himself. And he's so important, isn't he? Despite the fact he keeps missing penalties on pre-season, the number of assists he got last season, the number of chances that he creates, the goals that he scores, they can't let him go. He's still, for me, the best signing of the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era and still first name on the team sheet. But money talks. So what I do think might happen is that Bruno Fernandes can knock on the doors of the hierarchy and ask for a new contract at Old Trafford.
Well, that's exactly what I said earlier on, to be honest with you, Crookie. Never mind Bruno Fernandes and players leaving Manchester United. They've got to get a few in, surely, haven't they?
Yeah, we spoke yesterday, didn't we? After that defeat against Milan the weekend, they still look short in the left-back area and in midfield. The Tchouameni rumours started up again last night. Jose Mourinho, I think, ideally wants to keep him at Real Madrid, but United's interest has always been there. They're one of a number of Premier League clubs, I'm told, that have been offered Eduardo Camavinga, but he comes with a suspect injury record. Long-term targets include Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba. So I do expect one big signing at least between now and September the 1st at United. And as I say, they need cover at left-back because with the greatest will in the world, Luke Shaw can't play week in, week out in the Premier League and in the Champions League as well.
What about City then, Crookie? Obviously, we know Rodri's gone. Enzo Fernandez or Boyadi or both?
I think both potentially. The Boyadi deal seems more advanced at this stage. Chelsea obviously had that deadline of 5 o'clock on Friday by which City failed to submit a £120 million offer. So that asking price is gone. It may be they end up having to pay a little bit more than that to get Fernandes away from Stamford Bridge. But I think there's a willingness on the player and on City's part to reunite with Enzo Maresca. So again, I can see a busy final couple of weeks at the Etihad.
What about Barcola? I mean, they've obviously signed Akliouche as well, PSG, and it looks as though his game time might be limited. Do you see him moving at all, Crookie?
Yeah, I think he will between now and the end of the window. Liverpool are definitely still hot in pursuit at the moment. There's a big gap in valuation between what they want to pay and PSG's asking price, which I think has come down to 125 million, which would still be a British record equaling fee, and I think still too rich for Liverpool. Keep an eye on Mbaye as well, youngster at PSG. He's also on Liverpool's radar. Again, I'm told that's not close at this stage, but certainly one to watch in the last couple of weeks.
Want to drop down to the Championship. Joel Pirro strongly linked with a move, probably a loan move to West Ham United. Does that mean that they've given up on the likes of Vardy and Parrott?
I think it's becoming difficult. There's a lot of interest in Troy Parrott from clubs in Europe who can offer European football. So it was always going to be a tall order for West Ham. Vardy, likewise, has got plenty of offers on the table, including that intriguing one from Sao Paulo that you raised yesterday. I think the fact that Pirro is in the building now, he's going to have a medical today, suggests that maybe that Vardy deal to West Ham won't happen. This is going to be a straight loan deal with an obligation at the season should West Ham get promoted. And you can understand the attraction. Perot scored a lot of goals for Leeds in the second tier. I'm sure he'll do likewise at London Stadium.
Yeah, only 1 goal last season, but 19 the season before, 16 the season before that as well. Crookie, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, Crookie. All the best, pal.
Cheers, boys.
Just want to press on with a few more of these cult heroes. Jay says, cult hero of Sheffield United, Billy Sharp, with some honourable mentions for Devon McGoldrick and Chris Morgan. Sean Paul says Henrik Larsson for Celtic. Almost more than a cult hero in many respects.
I mean, absolutely tremendous football. Cult hero, I don't know.
Yeah. Stoke City, Stephen Nzonzi and Marko Arnautovic. Marko Arnautovic, absolutely, for sure, you would say, wouldn't you? Elsewhere, Ricky Villa, Spurs cult hero.
Yeah.
Completely agree with that. Plenty of mentions for Duncan Ferguson. Now, I'm not sure I agree with this, but Nottingham Forest, Jason Lee. I'm not sure that just having a pineapple-style haircut qualifies you as a cult hero.
John Robertson for Forest.
John Robertson.
Got to be.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I would, certainly John Robertson. Peter Weth, would he?
Well, yeah. Or would he come into the Villa category?
Yeah. Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. No, actually, you're right. Much more Villa than Forest. That is for sure. Yeah. Thanks. So many absolutely brilliant suggestions. So Ali will be doing his top 5 cult heroes of all time very shortly. It's really unfair because I had to sort these out on my own. And I was giving him all the names.
I know. And I tell you right now, who's come straight in. He's already got mentioned. Bully, Steve Bull. Steve Bull.
Yeah.
Probably epitomises cult hero, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, legend up there. Philippe Albert says Andy, and Lauren Robert at Newcastle. I think they're often forgotten outside of Newcastle.
I bump into Philippe Albert quite regularly, actually.
Yeah.
On the European circuit. I think he obviously does some television. When I see him away, he's lovely man, great man.
Joe in Aberdeen says George Alberts at Rangers.
Oh yes, that's a great shout. Brilliant shout.
And Ross says, I need to mention Davy Cooper for both Rangers and Motherwell.
Aye. But I think Davy comes into the kind of Henrik Larsson category,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Cult hero.
Better than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would say better. A lot of them were
I know.
brilliant
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Now, still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
We will focus on Man City and if they've lost their aura without Pep. Only one game in, so it's a bit soon to say that, isn't it? That's what some of the papers are saying, though, this morning. How damaging could this transition be for the club long term? 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say. We'll also continue the discussion on how Rodri will be remembered in the Premier League. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
Joe, very satisfying. Bit of a statement. Just remember, it's only a glorified friendly.
First of all, I want to say a big good morning to the talkSPORT listeners. It's a fantastic Monday morning, isn't it? It is for sure. Listen, guys, Jeff, Ali, who's going to beat us this season? You tell me. Who is going to take over in the city of London? Who?
On that evidence, nobody.
Nobody.
Right. But
Chelsea.
I think Chelsea.
It's premature, Jeff. It's premature.
Well, it's premature. You're saying who's going to beat us?
We've won the trophy available to win.
Yeah,
we've done it.
It's difficult for you guys not to get carried away after that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be overly worried about Manchester City's performance. Although, with the golf in that particular game, I would be slightly concerned.
Ali, I have to add, it is time to get excited. It's time to get super excited because I don't think there's a time in the league where it's been more open for us to dominate. I mean, if you look at Liverpool, Areola, we don't know what he's going to do. You're talking about Alonso. We're raving about a manager, and you've seen the ins and outs of Chelsea. It's not even stable there yet. I've just seen recently that Nicholas Jackson, who's been one of their best players in the pre-season, he's in the bomb squad with Liam Delap. You turn around, you look at Man City, it's looking shaky. You look at Aston Villa. There's no point you getting me in the morning with Gabby anymore. There's no point. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing, Gabby. I'm not going to see you again, mate. We're that far gone.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. We're doing Premier League cult heroes all morning as Michu signed for Swansea on this very day 14 years ago. We've had about 1 million in this morning. Here's a couple more for you. Two people have suggested this so far as well. Andy Mack and Alpay both say Tugay. Our Turkish delight at Blackburn Rovers scored some absolute crackers. And Fred says cult hero, the late Barry Kitchener. What a centre-half. That was Millwall, wasn't it? Barry Kitchener, Millwall?
It was, I think, yeah.
So, have you managed to narrow it down to your top five, mate?
It's been difficult, mate. It's been really, as I said, I'm putting Bully in straight away. You and I had the discussion there. There is a kind of thin line between can you be a top class player and a cult hero?
Yeah, I mean, some of the cult heroes
possible?
that we're talking about weren't necessarily the best player at their club at the time.
Exactly. So, well, I've written down some names, right? I've gone. Steve Bull obviously comes into category for me immediately, right? Big Dunk's another one. Big Dunk must come into that category. I agreed with the shout of Kotscher, Billy Sharp, boys like that. I threw one at you, Bosko Jankovic.
Yeah, Borough. Remember Borough, yeah.
Absolutely, back in the day. Total agreement with George Alberts at Rangers.
Yeah.
Because, and I discussed it, you obviously think about great players. Talk about Laudrup and Gascoigne and boys like that, absolutely different level. But George had a connection with the fans. Well, they used to call him the Hammer because of the power in his shots, and he scored some absolutely ridiculous free kicks and shots from outside the box. Fans loved him, special relationship, so he comes into that category. I had another interesting one as well. I mentioned Vinnie Jones. I think Vinnie Jones has to come into the cult hero, and I think have I given you four there?
Yeah.
I'll throw one at you. Grant Holt at Norwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm throwing that one into the equation.
Yeah, I get it.
He was a character, wasn't he?
Well,
did he not start wrestling?
He did. Went on to be a wrestler.
That's good enough to be a cult hero in my book anyway.
Brilliant, yeah. Ex-Barrow as well he was.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But isn't it brilliant that we've had some conversation with some reaction with the listeners today. Everybody's got a cult hero at the club.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, here's another one. And lots of names coming up. Don't get mentioned a lot. Barry Hales at Fulham.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fantastic player, like a tank in the box. And he certainly was. Keep them coming. We'll read out as many as we possibly can. Some headlines for you this Tuesday morning. FIFA's COO, Kevin Lamore's been sacked less than 3 weeks after he criticised the president, Gianni Infantino. There's a shock. Ruben Colwell rattled home a 98th minute free kick equaliser for Cardiff as they salvaged a point in their Welsh derby in inverted commas against Wrexham.
He's got to go, by the way, Infantino.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, never mind he's got to go. He should have gone.
Yeah, but he won't. He won't. You know, he's totally insensitive, lacks any self-awareness whatsoever, you know.
Well, I'm not sure, Jeff. I think it's an arrogance.
Yeah, but he will.
I think he must know there's a clamour for him to leave that position.
Yeah, but he is motivated by the filthy lucre, the money. He's not going to leave willingly because he will lose an absolute fortune.
And do you think there's too many, organisations within FIFA will support him, give him enough votes? All that kind of... Because you know what it's like. I mean, it's politics, isn't it?
Well, politics is one way of putting it. Blackmail's another.
Yeah.
You know, you offer
we can argue
smaller nations
in many cases
massive
it's the same
funds.
thing. Yeah. Many cases the same. But yeah, he has to go. It's a joke. Absolute joke.
Now,
the worst for me... the worst for me was that the Balogun situation.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, don't get me going on that.
Yeah. Look, yesterday, Martin Keown had this claim on talkSPORT, which I couldn't believe, on White and Jordan.
I think there's a strong argument to bring VAR in. When you consider that this is the sixth biggest league in European football and the revenues involved and how it impacts, one wrong decision massively impacts. If there's it's very difficult to get out of that division, isn't it? We all talk about the last game and what it's worth, the money is. There is VAR in the actual playoff final. I do think now it's time to bring it into the Championship. The clubs, though, are voting against it, Jim. This is the problem, getting everybody to believe in the same way. Some of the grounds maybe not set up for the Premier League or technology that you need. But I think now they really should be looking strongly at this and bringing it up to speed, particularly with the attendances, the money's involved. I can't believe it hasn't come in yet.
Yeah. Well, with all respect, Martin lives on planet Keown, doesn't he? He's so out of touch with what everybody else feels. Nobody, virtually no, I would say 90% of EFL fans do not want VAR anywhere near their game. And Martin, as Simon pointed out yesterday, it's not just the Championship we're talking about. There are 72 EFL clubs. If you bring it into the Championship, you bring it into League One, you bring it into League Two, and what do? Half of those clubs go bust because they have not got the money or the desire to have VAR. Now, this is all brought about by the West Bromwich Albion goal, which was clearly, the boy used his elbow to push it in. So it's a mistake by the officials. That won't happen often this season. And the benefits for me for not having VAR far outweigh the occasional mistake.
Martin said it himself. The clubs don't want it.
I know. But then he goes on.
It's a great idea. Let's give you something you don't want.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
No way.
No.
I mean, I think there might be a clamour. The majority. It'd be interesting. I think if you put for a vote with football fans, there would be a greater percentage would want rid of it than keep it.
There is a horrible rumour, suggestion around that within 2 years that the EFL will have VAR. Certainly the Championship anyway.
Oh, do you know something?
I think that will be an absolute
Well, of course
calamity.
it will. Of course it will. Because the clubs don't want it and the fans don't want it, Jeff.
Yeah.
So you're talking about arrogance and pig-headedness. There it is in bundles.
Yeah.
Why would you give somebody something they don't want? I mean, I get it if it's to the benefit of whether it's an illness or so. I get all that. But if you're a football fan or a football club and you don't want something, you don't think it's going to benefit you or your league or your opposition, why would you give them it?
Yeah. Martin was speaking really from a position as an ex-top division player and obviously a disciple of a Premier League club. And with all due respect to Martin, I love dearly, he doesn't venture down into the Championship very often, I don't think, or the EFL. And that's why he has that misguided view that
there's a lot.
VAR should be introduced into the EFL.
For me, our listeners messaging in, there's a lot of them say it's an endearing fact why they enjoy the Championship and the lower divisions. And by the way, I've got to say to you, I go to as many games as possible, probably a lot more than most, Jeff. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I go to a lot of junior football because my boy plays junior football. And there's something refreshing about it. You know, referees making honest mistakes, the same as the players and the coaches making mistakes. Linesmen a bit slow with a flag or getting it right, getting it wrong. And there's something actually... VAR has made that side of it actually refreshing.
Yeah. You ask the supporters of the sides who got relegated, you ask West Ham fans, the only good thing about them getting relegated last season is they do not have to suffer VAR in the Championship this season. A couple of more cult heroes for you. Dave in Watford says Marcus Stewart and Matt Holland at Ipswich.
Yes.
Absolutely agree with both of those. And here's one from John, the taxi driver in Wellingham. You are absolutely spot on here, John, at Charlton. Derek Hales.
I thought about it. You know some... Absolutely.
Brilliant. I love the fact this is bringing up so many fantastic names that actually we don't mention very often, if ever, on this show. But John, you're spot on, Derek Hales. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to Man City, losing Rodri, Bernardo Silva, John Stones, Nathan Ake and Pep. How bad could this season be? What do you expect, City fans? 03717 223344 is the number to call as we take your calls next. Two players in Man United in with a shout at the title. What do you think, Gabby?
No, I think Champions League will take a lot out of that squad of players. I look at right backs, Mazraoui, Dalot, not good enough. Centre backs, they need cover there as well. Shesko, listen, he done okay last season, double figures. He's got to be at it this season. They've got a very good squad of players, Jeff, but if they don't get 2 or 3 top players in certain roles, I don't think they can fight for the title. I think top 4 again and get out of the group stage of the Champions League will be a very good season.
Yeah, I mean, they've not been too busy in the transfer market, to say the least. They've brought in Yuri Tielemans, they've brought in Andre Santos. Ben Foster thinks one of those is the signing of the summer.
I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing so far.
What a better business that is.
What a bit of business. Yeah. Honestly, I genuinely still think I'm watching a load of transfers happen and, Tottenham spending a lot of money and Arsenal just spent a lot of money. I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing of the summer so far. For 30-odd million quid, whatever it was, he is a ready-made, good-to-go starting 11 player. And I think if you can spend £30 million on a ready-to-go starter, it is worth every single penny.
Yeah. And I agree with him. I think Yuri Tielemans is going to be one of the signings of the summer. But when I look at that midfield, talent is Tielemans and Bruno Meno and Andre Santos. That's just too thin on the ground, isn't it? They need more than that.
Players get injured as well. And where's their real defensive midfielder? I know Andre Santos has been brought in for that role, but he didn't pull up any trees at Chelsea, did he? Where's their, Villa got Bouba Kamara. You look at Anderson, Gravenberch.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Morning, loving this. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and 9 o'clock's Deal Drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. Coisty's bursting.
Oh, I'm
bursting with a cult hero. But before you go,
right, don't
I
mention
hope I don't ruin.
Oh,
right.
don't do it to me.
Okay, on X, I've got lots of messages there as well. CC Hits says Steve Morrison at Millwall. Yeah, completely agree. T says Savo Milosevic at Villa, which is another brilliant shout. Another Steve says, biggest cult hero at Wolves, Big George Elakobe. Got a shout for Stilian Petrov at Villa as well. And Man City, Sean, feed the goat. Goater has to be.
100%.
Last one, Chris has texted 3 here.
Don't do it to me.
Cult heroes not mentioned. Julian Dix at West Ham.
Absolutely.
You're sweating here, aren't you? Ron Harris at Chelsea.
Yes, chopper.
And the great Stan Bowles at QPR.
Oh yes, nearly. Nearly.
So what do you got then?
Well, what about this fella, right? And you'll get it. Clubs played for, and I still think he's a cult hero. Huddersfield, Leicester, Bolton, Philadelphia Fury, Birmingham City, Mjällby, Tampa Bay Rowdies, Leeds, Sunderland, Southampton, Brighton, Tranmere, Preston North End, Stockport, Cape Town Spurs, Chorley, Stalybridge Celtic, Galway United, Weymouth, Radcliffe Borough, is it Guiseley or Guiseley? Hinckley Town, Keaton Bay, and Halifax Town as a player coach, and I shared the room with him.
Did you? Crikey. He's been about a bit, hasn't he? I don't know. Go on, tell me.
Frank Wellington.
Oh, yeah, Frank.
Frank.
Yeah, he was a cult hero.
Wasn't he just?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was also a genius.
And I've got darn to thank for that. Was well done, mate.
Genius.
Frank.
As well. Mike and Hinkley says Mickey Quinn at Coventry.
Quinny, yeah.
Yeah, and couldn't argue with that either. So Davos Shuka, says Alex from Suffolk.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just brilliant. But a lot of people mention Gaza, and so when you mention Gaza, for me, Gaza was above cult hero status. Gaza was God status, let alone cult hero status.
I couldn't disagree.
Yeah. Lots on the way for you this morning. Andros Townsend will tell us what Spurs can achieve under Roberto De Zerbi this season, and also whether Palace fans are set for a relegation battle. We'll also be joined by one of England's fastest ever bowlers, two-time World Cup winner, Mark Wood. He'll be here to look ahead to the Test series coming up against Pakistan and whether Joe Root will have more success as England captain this time round. But now, should Man City fans be getting worried?
Feeds it into Erdogan. Great touch. Chance to make it 3. Easily strokes it into the net. It's a wonderful Arsenal move. Enzo Maresca's team are being blown away in Cardiff.
It is remarkably difficult to follow someone that's achieved the things that Guardiola achieved.
I'm not sure I'm giving any City players pass marks. Never mind anything else.
It'll be an interesting one, and that performance and that result will certainly make a few sit up and listen, I think.
Arsenal score Manchester City. Enzo Maresca, it couldn't have gone any worse, really.
A day to forget for Enzo Maresca and Man City, swept aside by Arsenal in the Community Shield. Big job for Maresca or anybody else following in the footsteps of Pep Guardiola, and it's not got off to the best start. The former City captain and manager Stuart Pearce said this on kick-off last night when doing his Premier League predictions.
Man City, I'm going to strike you out. You're down to 7th, Man City, just for me to shoehorn Brentford and Brighton into the top 6.
So are Brighton top? They're 5th, are they?
5th, yeah. Brentford 6th.
And City in. I love this. City in 7th.
Man City finishing 7th. Well, look, I mentioned that Martin Keown was, living on Planet Keown. Stuart Pearce living on Planet Pearce, do you think? 7th? 7th? With Haaland in their side?
Oh, Piercy. No. No, I mean, listen, time will tell. But
I think listening to all that punk has affected his senses.
Oh, yeah. City will not be out the top 3, right? I don't think. I mean, you can argue that they've still got. Well, they have. They've still got a great opportunity to win it, regardless of that performance at the weekend.
Yeah.
But I understand the slight concern, with the performance at the weekend, and obviously massive. No Rodri, no Bernardo Silva, Aki's away, John Stones. Biggest one is the coach. The biggest one's the coach. Yeah. That is a serious transformation within a football club. But I think they'll handle it a lot better than 7th.
I give you Haaland, Cherky, Doku, Foden, Semenyo, Anderson, Donnarumma, Gahey, Ruben Dias, Nico O'Reilly, Joseph Guardiola. 7th? No.
No chance.
No, I don't think any chance of being 7th. But look, they do, obviously, they've only had one big signing, and that was Elliot Anderson. Now, they do need to splash the cash.
Well, they will. I think we're accepting they will. But
is Enzo Fernandez,
I'm not sure,
the right fit for them?
Well, that's what I'm going to
in terms of character, personality. Everybody tells us about how important that is in players these days. Right. Is he the right man to come into a squad?
Well, there's only one way to find out. The one thing I will guarantee, he's not a like for like with Rodri. That you could argue the player Rodri is or was for City, I think, is irreplaceable. So you've got to do something different. I understand the signing of Fernandes. I think he's an excellent player. Clearly can score important goals, but he is not going to give you what Rodri has given you for all those years.
Maresca, we saw it at Chelsea, whether it was the club or whether it was him. But he works well with the young players.
Yeah.
So for me, Boadi would be the
I thought
far
he was
more
excellent.
Sensible signing.
100%.
Brilliant in the World Cup, wasn't he?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely different class. I mean, I think I certainly saw 2 of his games live, might even have been 3, and impressed. and I was saying to John, we were doing comms, I was looking at John saying he's a different level, this boy. And you could see he will go right to the top. I see he's more of a Rodri type for me than Fernandes.
So if not 7th, where do you see them finishing?
2nd.
Wow, do you? I think that's a bit over-ambitious, personally. But
do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be... I think I've got them down as 3rd, something like that.
Yeah,
I quite fancy Chelsea to finish 2nd.
Well, do you know something? I'd probably Chelsea down as 3rd. So I just think, look, we saw with United, I think there'll be a dramatic improvement. A lot of it due to the fact less games for Chelsea. New coach. I think the coach is great.
Yeah.
I think he's made intelligent signings as well. So, yeah.
Man City welcome Bournemouth to the Etihad in their season opener on Sunday. You'll be able to hear updates from that and all the other games on Sunday afternoon as Sam Matterface goes around the grounds. And of course, talkSPORT brings you the first 2 live games exclusively on the network. But you are bursting with a couple more cult heroes.
Oh, I have.
Go on.
And this is brought. I'm going to test you again.
Trivia, I'm no good.
2 players, different clubs with the same name. The players are the same name. And in my opinion, cult heroes. Andy Ritchie at Oldham.
Yeah.
And Andy Ritchie at Morton, right up the road. I mean,
I couldn't vouch for Andy Ritchie at Morton, but
I'm going to tell you.
Oldham for sure.
Andy Ritchie at Oldham. The Andy Ritchie at Morton used to drive Sir Alex Ferguson absolutely mental when he was manager at Aberdeen. Because he always used to score against that great Aberdeen team.
Yeah.
He used to whip free kicks in. Big Andy was, he's epitomises cult hero, believe me.
Here's a couple more. John in Manchester. These are a couple of great ones, actually. John in Manchester. Chef Kikuchi at Sheffield Wednesday. Absolutely brilliant.
He came to Kilmarnock when I was there.
Did he?
Yeah.
And John says, at Tranmere, Clint Hill was the ultimate cult hero, and it actually not just at Tranmere. I think you'd find 1 or 2 others.
Can remember a goal?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely brilliant. Now, look, Tom says Lucas Leiva at Liverpool. I'm not sure about that. Not sure he qualifies for cult hero status, to be absolutely honest. Lee Hughes at West Brom.
Yes.
And so name from the past in and going, we never really mentioned. So, but look,
it's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, keep them coming out. I love to hear these different names. Love to hear these different names. Millsy says Ben Watson at Wigan. Yeah. Up next, we'll hear Jack Wilshere's halftime talk. Have you heard this?
No.
Brilliant. Jack Wilshere's halftime team talk as he motivated his Luton players to come back from 3-1 down to win 4-3 at Reading. You won't want to miss it.
Gabby Bungalow had joined myself and Drive on Monday. I asked him if he thought Arsenal are to win the league.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think it's done, mate.
Do you?
Yeah.
What, you think it's over?
Yeah, it's over, mate.
Really?
Yeah. They're that strong, man. They went and brought in Guimaraes as well, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I hear you, right, and I probably don't want to admit it yet.
Yeah.
We ain't even kicked a ball.
I know.
They're the only settled football club in the league.
Exactly.
Right? That's what they've got going for them. What do you make of that? Do you feel like, look, you're an Arsenal fan? They had a great season last season.
Yeah.
Are they're the team to beat?
I think of course they're the Premier League champions. They're the favourites, but I wouldn't sit here today, no chance, and say, it's ours easy. No way whatsoever, because there's so many factors last season. I mean, Arsenal finally got over the line. They played a productive way that maybe for some people, I didn't actually mind it. I quite enjoyed watching it, but there were some people that said that they stunk the place out in terms of the way that they played the game, but they did what they needed to get over the line.
Well, they did stink the place out.
Well, no, you didn't.
Well, they did.
How?
Well, they stunk the Premier League out.
You can't stink it out and win it.
No, you can.
No, you can stick it out and finish fourth bottom. Hey, I tell you that. You can do that.
You did stink it out.
No,
like, you brought the level of fun down in the Premier League.
For a Gooner, it wasn't.
Ah, come on. It was turgid, some of the football.
Listen, I loved it, right?
Did you really? You'd hate to play in that team.
No, I wouldn't. What, Premier League winners medal? I wouldn't.
You want to see a bit more exciting football.
People say
like, come on, you've won it now. Arteta's won it.
People
play
say,
a bit more exciting.
No,
stuff.
people say that, right? Arsenal still scored 71 goals in the league last year. Only Man City scored more.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. I just want to mention one more cult hero because he is one of the ultimate cult heroes. And we haven't mentioned him,
Incredible.
and we should do.
100%.
Nick, the West Ham fan.
Yeah.
If you're a Hammer, I was going to say you know where we're going. Actually, because Billy Bonds would be there as well.
Correct.
But this fella, one club man, proper hero, Mark Noble.
Here.
You will get no arguments from us with that.
We apologise for the lateness in mentioning.
Yeah. Now, after Jack Marriott's superb first-half hat-trick, Luton were left with it all to do when they faced Reading in the opening game of the League One season. They were 3-1 down at half-time, but came back to win the game by 4-3. How on earth did they do it? Well, Luton have taken to social media to give us an insight to the half-time team talk that Jack Wilshere gave the boys to help them stage that terrific turnaround. If you're watching us on CTV or YouTube, you'll be able to see it now.
Guys, I can stand here and show you some clips, but the truth is, boys, I must be going crazy. But I spent 6 weeks telling you we drop points against counter-attacking teams. What happens on day one? We concede 3 goals. 3 goals, we give them a hat-trick. A hat-trick, lads. Come on, please. We can do all we want, but if we ain't there in drills, if we don't land on second balls, it doesn't matter. Be clean, please. We do passing drill after passing drill where it goes bang, bang, opposite side. It's for now. This is where it matters. But lads, it's still there for us. It's still there. We can go score 2 in 10 minutes and we can kill them. But come on, boys. Come on, let's be men about it. Let's go. Come on, boys.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. It was brilliant, you know, and he said, this is what it is. This is what all of the build-up has been about. I thought it was absolutely sensational, you know, and it wasn't really what I expected. I don't know what I expected to see from Jack Wilshere, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, I expected that. He's I would never claim to know Jack really well. Terrifically talented football player, and I just thought really passionate, you know, and I did expect that. I can understand that. That wasn't first time I've seen it, Jeff. Not a surprise to me at all.
Yeah,
and I think clearly, you know, he wasn't over the top. Anything but.
Yeah, but you felt his frustration. Certainly on the long version, felt his frustration when he says, look, we've been doing this for 6 weeks. For 6 weeks. This is it.
Yeah.
And you just felt the frustration there of every manager, every
100%.
coach whose pre-season has gone in a certain way, and on the opening day of the season, it all goes pear-shaped.
Listen, I've got to say, poacher turn gamekeeper, or perhaps it's the other way about. I don't fancy those cameras in my own dressing room, right? But that's brilliant.
Yeah.
See, watching that from where we are now, and if you're a football fan seeing that, doesn't matter if you're a football fan or Luton or whoever, Reading, whatever it may be, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. And
it worked.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you there'll be times it won't work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You wouldn't want to get into that position too often, would you?
No.
Cult heroes, Terry Hurlock at Millwall.
Oh,
of course.
and at Rangers.
Yeah, and at Sunderland, Kevin Ball. Very
Bally.
great
Absolutely.
shout, great shout. Right, let's get the Legends Odds with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Oh, John, good morning to you.
Good morning, John.
Oh, good morning, gentlemen. Ali, it's been a long time since we chatted on this slot. I think the last time we spoke was pre-World Cup. So, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, pal. It was pre-World Cup, definitely. I thought the best team won the World Cup eventually, John.
They did. They did. Absolutely.
That was the case, wasn't it? It was definitely the case.
Yeah.
What about your own team? Not a great start the weekend, my old son?
No, it was disappointing. Beaten comfortably by Newport 3-0. So, that was baptism of fire back to the Football League. But the good news is there's 45 games to get it right. So we're not panicking just yet.
Yeah.
But, Jeff, you must be absolutely buzzing this morning. 2 wins out of 2. You're now 7-2 favourites with Coral to win the National League. And
We're
that
what?
get you back in
Favourite,
League 2.
second favourite, surely.
No, you are favourites in our book, 7-2 favourites.
Whoa.
Unless I've read it wrong, no, 7-2.
No,
my eyes
it's
have not
because
failed this morning.
Carlisle started as favourites, but they picked up 1 point from the first 2 games. So.
John, I've got to say, knowing the fella well, I think that's a pressure. I'm not sure that's a pressure Stelling can handle, to be honest.
I know, he didn't want to hear that, did he? Exactly. That's how I felt last season at times.
Yeah. All I would say, John, is as I was there at Aldershot on Saturday, you know what? There was nothing between the two teams, and
Really?
Aldershot missed a 90th minute penalty.
He said that.
So we worked our socks off. We battled hard. Like a lot of sides, we've got a couple of injuries at the moment, but yeah, you can't ask for a better start. Love it.
No,
hey, by the way,
sometimes
John,
you've got to do that, Jeff, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, in certain games.
yeah, you've got to go and nick those 1-0s away from home.
Definitely.
Who would Rochdale's cult hero be?
We've still got one right now, Ian Henderson, 42 years old, still playing. Record goal scorer. It's absolutely incredible, really. And he's going to be having to go to League Two again, one more season. Just got married as well a couple of weeks ago. So he's having a great life. Gary Jones, a midfielder, he was brilliant for us in the noughties. They're the two, really, that stand out for Rochdale.
Yeah. Brilliant. Look, let's go on Premier League. Should we talk about the bottom of the Premier League? I mean, is it the 3 promoted sides who are favourites to go back down?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Hull, Coventry, and obviously Ipswich. Of the shortest of the 3, Hull are 1-6. So, we're not giving them much hope, are we, the bookmakers, of staying up. Then it's Coventry 4-5. Well, I think of the 3 teams, I think Coventry are the one that have got the best chance of surviving. I have to say,
I agree, mate.
Ipswich are 5-6, and then the teams that are established, these are the ones that we think are under pressure this season. Sunderland are 7-2. Had a great season last year. Can they keep it up?
Yeah.
Fulham, similar story, 5-1, and then Crystal Palace, obviously new manager, 6-1. So they're the 3 we think that if any of them could go down of last season's Premier League teams, they're the 3. But Coventry, I like their chances, Ali.
I don't disagree, John. We've had a couple of ex-players in the last 24 hours or so who, in normal circumstances, we've got a lot of respect for. But Keown and Pearce, I'm naming and shaming. Pearce, he's talking Manchester City coming in 7th in the league. What's going on, John? I mean, I understand Arsenal probably, and we can argue about the importance of the game, but the manner of the victory would probably install them as favourite for the league. But City will still be up there,
no doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it. But I think City will get better. Look, they're linked with that lad from the Moroccan lad. Ayoub, is it? Yeah, Ayub Bardi. Yeah, he was a terrific player in the World Cup. What he really impressed me for Morocco, only 19 years old, and they could still sign Enzo Fernandez. I wouldn't be surprised if that deal was done by the end of the window. So City could look a lot different before the window start, but it was a tough start for them. There was no doubt about it. Ali, you were there, obviously. On Sunday, it was a poor performance from them, but you've got to believe they'll get better than that. But Arsenal, the team to beat at the top end of the table, chaps. They're 5-4 favourites. City second best at 100-30, and we've seen a bit of money for Chelsea. Actually, they're into 6-1 from 8-1. So that's how we see the Premier League outright betting.
John, looking forward to the EBO meeting this week. Wednesday, Juddmonte International, Ombudsman, possibly the best horse in the world at the moment, up against Constitution River. What a clash.
It's a great clash of the generations as well. Obviously, Constitution River, the brilliant French Derby and Coral Eclipse winner taking on, as you say, best horse in the world on turf, Ombudsman. So this is a brilliant start to the week. It always gets off to a flyer, the EBO meeting, with this big feature race, a lucrative race on day one. So it's even money Ombudsman, 7-4 Constitution River, and I don't think it's a 2-horse race here, because we've got a horse here trained by Andrew Baldwin, Item, who's a 2-time Course and Distance winner at York, so he loves it there, won the Dante early in the season. He's 15-2, so I don't think it's a 2-horse race, but obviously he does probably have a little bit to improve on the top two of the betting. So great start to the week. Steve will be there tomorrow on the Naysmire. We've got the EBO, the big handicap later in the week, the Great Voltigeur tomorrow, a race ahead of the St. Ledger trial. So, great few days racing at York.
Brilliant meeting.
It is a brilliant meeting. Just what you're talking about there, John, just brought me to mind a gag from Tim Vine, the great Tim Vine. Said, man and a woman coming out of the supermarket wrapped in a barcode. They were an item.
Very good. The old ones are the best, aren't they?
Brilliant.
The old ones are the best.
John, thanks very much, mate.
Great to see you, John.
Cheers,
all the best.
Have a great day, boys.
You too.
That was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18 plus gambleaware.org. I might see Tim at the weekend, actually, because, of course, he's Sutton United
Of course
fanatic.
he is.
Fanatic, and we're away to Sutton. I saw him the last time I was there.
He normally messages in and gives us a bit of his batter as well, which is great.
Just a couple more cult heroes in Scotland. Cult hero Wraith, Gordon DL.
Oh, Dazzler, yeah. Yes,
and,
absolutely.
At Partick Thistle, Ian says Chick Charnley.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Without doubt. Great shout, Chick. Yeah.
Cult heroes for West Bromwich Albion, Jeff Astle and Tony Brown. Bomber Brown, remember him?
Brown.
Wow. Fantastic stuff. Coming up, we'll be joined by Andros Townsend to focus on Spurs and Palace. He also wants to have his say on how Rodri will be remembered in the Premier League. That's next.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
In the traditional thought process of who's going to challenge Arsenal, they're all in a form of transition. They're all in. Liverpool have got to rebuild.
So you telling me Arsenal will win it again?
Well, you would think that there's a distinct possibility, as Martin rightly says. Nothing is easy, and neither should it be, and neither should we hope it is.
Sure.
Right. But Arsenal are in the box seat.
Yeah.
And I don't want the narrative to be seeded because he'll start crying about it. But the fact is that you don't want them to steal defeat from the jaws of victory, because it is theirs to win.
Sure.
They're the defending champions. They're in good nick.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that kind of talk.
They're in good nick.
That
We'll get to some talk with
narrative
Arsenal
talk
fans
was
very
there.
shortly,
The
Martin.
narrative talk last
I want
season.
to put this to you.
4 games in last year, we're saying Arsenal had blown it. Yeah. Like, let's not get into all of that. It's theirs to blow. No. They can enjoy now. There's a new armory.
Who said that?
This is a tough. They are winners, Jim. You cannot dispute that this season.
Well, they are. But let me ask you this before we hit the 10:30 break. Arteta's next evolution are the narratives of boring Arsenal and set piece FC now being wiped aside.
Well, I'm not sure they were there anyway, because Arsenal, look, as I say, I didn't care if their winning goal came off
That was a strong narrative
the
last
backside of
season. You know
Gabriel
that.
or not. 25 goals from set pieces. Look, whatever way they found to, they'll be doing all of that again this year. It's every facet of their play. they'll try and pass the ball. Look how well they passed the ball yesterday when they went 2 or 3 goals up. The handbrake came off yesterday, and they got players in the final third.
Well,
that's the
what I
next
mean.
step.
Do you envisage a style change this season?
Well, I think it's a dominance check, really. They were allowed to play football yesterday. This is what you're up against, isn't it? But no, I mean, the manager wants to go to the next step. That is to control games more.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters, but it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the tax man at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, 9 o'clock. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online, 8:36, Tuesday, August the 18th. Cult heroes, Robin North Wales, Joey Jones at Liverpool.
Oh, yes.
Bites your legs, remember that? Kristen Swindon says... Chris Kamara from Sky Sports, and you're absolutely
100%.
right. And I've got one that I have to agree with. Lee says, Money Boys, what about Ronnie Moore at
Tranmere
Rotherham?
as well, did we
and
manage?
Tranmere, absolutely. And Ronnie hasn't been brilliantly well. So, Ron, if you're listening, hope
Wishing
you're
all
okay,
the
mate.
best, yeah.
He's just a fantastic top man.
Yeah.
Top man. Right, the Premier League countdown is very much on.
Leicester City are the Barclays Premier League champions.
Oh, what's going on here? Cantona getting involved into supporters. Oh, this is outrageous.
I'm European champion. I think I'm a special one.
Sergio Aguero! My win! The Barclays Premier League for Manchester City! It's talkSPORT. We are Premier League.
Premier League almost back. talkSPORT live and exclusive coverage of the first 2 games of the new Premier League season. Arsenal against Coventry, that's Friday night, and Hull against Manchester United Saturday lunchtime. One fan base we're plenty excited about this season is Spurs, of course. 17th and 17th last 2 seasons. Lots of signings, though. Is Roberto De Zerbi the man to get them back into the top half? Let's bring in the former Spurs and Palace midfielder Andros Townsend to find out. Morning to you, Andros.
Morning, Andros. How are you?
I'm very good. How are we?
We're in top form. I didn't get a chance to see you, mate. How did you enjoy your World Cup?
Oh, it was amazing. Just like you, I was everywhere. I was across the 3 countries. But yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, mate. Wasn't it? What an experience, yeah. Terrific. Yeah. Anyway, mate, we're going to start with Spurs, if we may. Got to be improvement. Must be improvement this season, surely, for the fans.
I think improvement has got to be the minimum, but I'll go a little bit further. For the first time in a long while, I'm a little bit excited for Spurs. I think they've done everything right in the off-season. Obviously, they got the top manager in just before the end of the season. We saw some positive signs in the way he wanted to play and control the game. But in the off-season, they've given him full control. They've got Premier League proven players through the door early, no haggling over fees, no waiting to deadline day. They've got their business done early, no European football. And I just think all that can play in their hands if they can get off to a good start. Whereas the other top teams maybe have new managers, maybe they might have slow starts. I really think this could be a good season for Spurs.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, defensively, they've completely reshaped, haven't they? I think brought in some really good players. Look, by contrast, Andros, are you concerned about Palace at all? Because, I mean, obviously they've lost another central defender. This on the back of, Eze leaving and Mark Gahey leaving. A new manager in who's untested in the Premier League. Have you got any concerns?
I do have some concerns. I think that's natural, but I think I'll rewind 12 months and I was probably sitting in the same position, having lost Eze. It looked like Gahey was going to go to Liverpool. I was worried for Palace then, and they went on to create another historic season. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Pre-season's not been great. They've lost their main centre-half, but they've still got some core players in there like Wharton, what have you, the players who have done well for them over the last 2 or 3 years. And the new manager had a great season last year as well. So we're not talking about some 25-year-old fresh off his coaching badges. He had a really good season last season. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, but there's not high expectation for Palace, especially in the league this season. Let's hope they can have another good run in the Cup, in the Europa League this year.
Well, I want to ask you about. I am a little bit concerned about Palace in the kind of same way, Andros. I'm slightly concerned about Newcastle. Where do you sit with them?
Yeah, again, originally I thought they'd sort of abandoned their plan to try and compete with the top sides. They've been outbid by the Liverpools over the last few years, even Villa this summer. But I feel like their sort of policy has been from when they've come in. Let's get players not on the cheap, but players who are not proven. Let's build them up to be world-class players and let's sell them on for huge profits. And they've done that with the likes of Guimaraes and Tonali. They've won silverware along the way. They've got Champions League football, had massive success. I think now they've sort of gone backwards and started again. They've got young, unproven players through the door and try and look to build again and build a top side. I think they're really trying to go backwards to take another big step forward.
Yeah. Andros, look, we've been talking this morning about a lot of things, actually, but we've been touching on Rodri as well and what his legacy is going to be like and whether he will be remembered as a Premier League all-time great. You've played against him, so what's your view?
I think so. I think he came in at a time where we were talking about Fernandinho as a core player for Man City and how will they cope without Fernandinho as he's getting older. and he just seamlessly took over the role. To have a number 6 win the Ballon d'Or is unheard of. Yes, he may have suffered in the last year or so. He'd done his ACL, took him a while to come back, suffered with 1 or 2 injuries, but pre-ACL, we're talking about a player who you cannot press him, you cannot get the ball off him. He would drop into the back 4 and get the ball. He would get things started. He would get up the pitch. He would get back. He really was so crucial to what Man City did in those prime Pep years. So I think he has to go down as a great in the Premier League for sure.
Finally, Andros, look, Amy Hunt celebrated her 4 gold medals with a KFC. Now, Ali McCoist has been talking this morning that he has fish, chips, pickled onions, beetroot, slice of black pudding. I mean, look, you're conscious about what you eat. Have you got any tips for him?
I've got to say, though, that the beetroot's good, Ali. You're on the right path with the beetroot.
Just the rest of it.
The rest of it we can work on, but the beetroot's spot on.
I love how he takes the positives.
I thought Andros' initial tip for me was to get my jaws wired together. Listen, mate, I'm going to get back to you with Rodri. I think Rodri is not only is he a Premier League great, I think he's harder to replace than some of the great forward players that have because of that. If not unique, I know you mentioned Fernandinho, but he kind of made that. It's not a unique position, I get it, but he was so good in it. My argument would be he's probably harder to replace than some of the great forward players.
I could probably agree with that, Ali, because I think you talk about your Aguero, as Pep said we cannot replace him, and then bought Haaland a few months later. But with Rodri, like I said, he offers something different to the other number 6s, and I think maybe they might go down a different route under Maresca, but I don't think you can replace him like for like in today's game. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Ali.
So, Andros, what about you? Are you going to be in Thailand again this year?
I am, yes. I've signed again 1 more year in Thailand, and we loved it last year. The kids were so happy. So, yeah, why not give it another year and see how we get on?
Good lad. Hey, Andros, love talking to you. Don't take any notice of Agbon Lahore. No notice whatsoever, pal, okay? You're always welcome on with us, mate.
Nobody ever does.
I'm doubling down in the beetroot, mate.
Thanks, Andros.
See you, mate.
Pleasure, anytime. Cheers, bye-bye.
Yeah. Cult hero. Because we've not mentioned Hartlepool, but somebody, Huey from Hartlepool says, hi, Jeff, biggest cult hero ever, Bob Newton. Hartlepool, yeah, I would concur with that. I'll just give you one more, though, Huey, as well. Brian Honour. I saw a couple of weeks ago. He would be a Hartlepool cult hero as well. Great to see Andros Townsend.
Excellent. It's great for
whether whether he could still do a job in this country. He probably could somewhere.
But you know something? Listening to him there and looking at him, and you can tell it's all about the kids and the family and enjoying himself for about a year, couple of years. And I don't think anybody can grudge him that.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Right, what's tickled you?
Cheltenham legend, Alan Brazil. Can't argue with that. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
You may feel this is a bit premature, but we will be dishing out our Premier League awards for the 25-26 campaign. Oh, for the 25-26 campaign?
Yes.
Okay. Right, okay. Including find out who
effectively it's anything but premature.
No. So why are we doing that? When it was a long time ago. It's looking ahead to this season, isn't it? Anyway, we've got some ideas for this season who the award winners will be. We'll also see the return of my best mate, former Premier League ref, Chris Foy, to find out if there's any chance we could see a better year of officiating this season. We'll get his thoughts on VAR in the Championship as well. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
So, Martin, you've already said that you worry for Manchester City in some way, but I mean, it's the Community Shield. Can you really take the Community Shield as a serious benchmark
I think that's
at
a bit
any time?
disparaging what you're saying. Let me just put it into perspective. So that's a game of honour, right? In terms of it's an honour to play in that football match because what it represents is the two most successful teams from the season before. So you walk out there, shoulders back, chest out, and you're proud to be there. Okay, you want to win it. Let me tell you, you want that in your team photograph. That photograph for Arsenal has been held back and City for this week, so they can maybe drop in another trophy. Arsenal will have that. You're proud to do it.
So you really value your
it's a dress
Shield medal,
100%, 100%. You should
Really?
dress. Oh yes. Well, you'll have to take it from me. You've asked me the question. If you don't believe me, then what can I do about that?
Okay.
So I can just tell you how I was, my mindset. Now, really, what I enjoyed yesterday was the mindset of the players. So obviously, that's born out of the culture within the club. The manager's really pleased. You can see there's been a really good reaction. Ødegaard is back in the building, is ready to go. He's the captain. He's the player whose position's under most threat, and he played a big part in the game yesterday. So let's get that right. But you're right. If you lose the game, you can say it doesn't matter. We're not ready because it's part of your training.
That's a very point.
But the thing is, it's still a valuable trophy. Whenever we saw Pep win it, wasn't that often, by the way. So we shouldn't be panicking in a Man City situation. They lost 4 of the last 5 Community Shields. You basically look at it and say, okay, it's part of the training, but we'll be ready for the start. It's a wake-up call for Man City. And I'm saying they need to wake up, Jim, because yesterday they fell below the standards that we've been used to seeing.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me 10 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Just a couple of cult heroes here. One who's still around in the game as well, but agree. Michael says, cult hero for Burnley all day long, Ashley Barnes.
Yep.
And Lenny says, Billy Whitehurst at Hull City.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you will get no disagreement from us on that for obvious reasons. Now, the 100 came to a close on Sunday, which can only mean the return of Test cricket. England's 3-match series gets underway tomorrow against Pakistan. A lot's happened since England's last game. New coach in position, Stephen Fleming. He won't take over officially until after this series. And, of course, Joe Root retakes the captaincy of the side. So, to talk about what life might look like after Ben Stokes, who better to ask than 2-time World Cup winner, a man who's played under Stokes and Root. Yep, current England fast bowler Mark Wood. Morning, Mark.
Morning, Woody. How are you?
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. All right?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you, first of all? How's the recovery from injury going?
Oh, I'm hanging on by a thread. There's one bit of sellotape left on it, and it's just about hanging on.
Listen, mate, it doesn't get any easier. I can tell you that. Woody, tell me, here's a question for you, right? Clearly, the importance of a captain in cricket is arguably as high in any sport. And we saw that last time Joe had 1 or 2 difficulties with the captaincy, right, in terms of his own form. What's the difference going to be this time?
I think the personnel's totally different, isn't it? So you had Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, obviously legends of the game, and he could call on them. But almost Joe had all these big characters in his team that knew that role, knew how they're going to play. Whereas now Joe can implement himself on a totally fresh team. The young lad coming in the team, Jordan Cox, is going to bat number 3, I think, who's only played 1 test. You've got Jacob Bethel, who's currently out of the team, but these are the lads that, bat around Joe Root, and he's just been a senior player. Now going back to captaincy, I think with a slightly different team, he can put his ideas more on the team rather than lads who are, battle-hardened and have been there for a while. So it very rarely happens in cricket where a test captain comes back like this.
Yeah.
But Joe's such a nice lad, such a good character, and well-liked in the dressing room that I think he'll do a great job.
Yeah. Look, Mark, it's great to have Test cricket back. The original and the best form of the game. But it's an important series from England perspective, isn't it? New coach waiting in the wings. We come off the back of a series defeat against New Zealand. Prior to that, losing the Ashes. Mm-hmm. So important that England turn up.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a reset, to be honest. That the media coverage around the England team has been very negative lately. Obviously, we didn't perform well in Australia. And then there was going into that New Zealand series, it just seemed like at times it was a little bit poisonous. You would get like questions about the game, about characters and who was going out where and who was doing, and a lot of it wasn't about the cricket. Whereas it feels like this time with the new coach coming in, a lot of it's talking now about the cricket. Joe Root's, put a line in the sand about curfews and all that kind of stuff. So it's now they can just focus on the cricket. And Stephen Fleming, you tend to go from one end of the scale to the other in cricket. You've got a very relaxed coach in Brendan McCullum who's not over analytical and all that kind of stuff. And you can flip to the other end and get someone like Andy Flower, who typically was a bit intense and used a lot of data. And I think Stephen Fleming's somewhere in the middle.
Well, we're all different coaches and different styles. I get that, Mark. How will we look back on McCullum and Stokes' period in charge?
I think, had some really great results at times. I mean, some of the things we achieved, winning out in Pakistan, but ultimately the big series which everybody wanted to win was sort of India and Australia, and we came up short there. So I think it'll be mixed reviews. I think a lot of times some of the comments out of the group probably were a bit outlandish at times, and maybe we didn't do ourselves any favours there. But I can tell you, within the dressing room, it was great to play for them both. Stokes was actually a phenomenal captain, I thought, growing up with him from Durham. I couldn't believe how well he was speaking by the end. He couldn't put 3 words together when we were 16. So by the end, the way he was speaking and stuff was fantastic. So I look back fondly of it and some great memories. But in the end, it just seemed to have run its course.
How do you recover from the loss of someone like Ben Stokes, Mark? I mean, it's impossible, isn't it?
You cannot, really. You cannot. He's got a massive aura about him and just helps basically having him in the team. Secondly, a lot of people look at stats and things like that, but he's the opposite of a stats-driven player. He's a team man. He's unselfish. He'll get the ball when it's at the hardest times. He comes out to bat and he, can smack it and flare around when other people can't. And you miss characters like that who, when the game almost seems done and dusted, he never ever gives up. And the fact that he covers all 3 forms, and he's a good fielder, he's a good bowler, and he's a good batter. It's hard to just, get 3 players in one, and the balance of the team totally changes, and the balance of the team for this game against Pakistan is going to look a little bit different.
Woody, it's been spoken about before, and it will be spoken about as long as cricket gets played. That innings at Headingley from Stokes. Any time, listen, mate, I'm going to tell you something, honest to God. See, any time that comes up on my phone, I watch it. And it'll come up once every 10 days. I watch it. It was just remarkable. And, of course, the wee man at the other end as well. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Leachy, he can live off the back of that more than anyone else. For 1 not out.
1 not out. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's living off the back of 1 not out, which is brilliant. But, a phenomenal innings. And that's the kind of guy that you're going to miss, those types of moments. I mean, it's been talked about before with his career. You almost expect him every time he goes out to play to have one of those moments. There's people in that career, if I had one of those, I'd be delighted. He's had about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So it just tells you how big he has been for English cricket.
Yeah. I mentioned it's the return of Test cricket. Look, Mark, I know the 100's got its significance, financial importance and things like that, but what a shame it is that we've had, I don't know, 3-4 weeks in the middle of summer where Test cricket could have been at the forefront of people's minds, and yet there hasn't been any.
Yeah, I mean, when I grew up, it was always Test cricket was in the middle of the school holidays, so that's when you'd watch it. And I understand that the ECB are pushing this, and that that you get the best players and stuff coming over and overseas. And I commentated on a lot of the 100, which was actually good fun. It was nice to do something different. But for me, Test cricket's always going to be number one, and we've got to make sure that we look after that in this country. And even just talking about it with you two now, we're talking about things that have happened 6 months ago in Australia. So they're still at the forefront of everyone's mind. So I hope Test cricket can still get the light it deserves.
Oh, agree with you 100%. Mark. Agree with you 100%. Thanks very much indeed, Mark.
Take care, Mark. See you soon, mate. All the best.
Take care, lads. All the best. See you, lads.
Cheers. England fast bowler Mark Wood there. If you're abroad or on your summer holiday, you can listen, remember, to live coverage of England against Pakistan on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. And for more build-up to this Test series, check out the Following On podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Manchester City cult hero Paul Dickov. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's one Norwich Jeremy Goss.
Yeah.
And I might add to that Brian Gunn. I think
Gunny, of course. I'm accepting that all day, Gunny. Yeah.
Boydie
Jeremy, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. Was it Jeremy Goss that scored the goal?
Bayern Munich.
Yeah. There you
go. Boydie says Bobby Zamora in his time at Brighton. I agree with that. And listen to this. This is one which is he should have been bashing us over the head with a mallet. It's so obvious. It's come from Paul in Wigan. Says Coventry. Brian Killer Kilcline.
Oh yes,
one of the ultimate cult heroes, you'd say. It's just before 9 o'clock. Up next, it's time for our Premier League predictions. Who does Ali have winning Player of the Year? You'll find out next.
There's a bit of housery about it, and since Cucurella's gone, I kind of like that housery.
Oh no, I think it's a great quality. I think if you're talking about a footballer, strictly on the pitch here, and you use words like, oh, he's snide, he's snarling, he's aggressive. These are good words to use about a footballer. I want players to be like that. I think Chelsea have been a little bit too nice over recent years, and I think having somebody that is a little bit more on the front foot is a good thing. Enzo Fernandez, we've seen it. Like when he scored that goal against Paris Saint-Germain, he's running off towards their ultras, showing them the Club World Cup badge. Whenever we play Manchester United, he's got Mason Mount round the throat. Like he understands what Mason Mount's relationship with Chelsea fans is, and he leans into that. There are qualities to Enzo Fernandez, no doubt, but I'd 100% want him out of the club and 100% take the money.
Okay, Sean?
I totally agree. I do like him as a footballer, but his heart's not in it. And from the minute he started to tout himself around in terms of, I want to play for Madrid, you know what? Guess what? Go. The player I want to see fit is Lavia. Now, when I don't think you remember between towards the end of December 2024, we almost went to the top of the league, and the reason why that is because Lavia was playing superbly. The one thing wrong with Lavia, when he injures an eyelash, he's out for about 6 months. So we need to keep him fit, and if we can keep him fit, when he was playing, we kept Fernandez wasn't even playing because they played. Casado at right back, and he was the main man running the show. And when we went to Spurs and we turned them over, right, he was the main reason.
From the Toffees to the Tractor Boys, the Eagles to the Seagulls, Gunners, Bees, Hammers and Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were 2 local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves 2 club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles," and some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them, like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark's deal drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. It is 9:05. Thank you for all of your texts, particularly those about your breakfast tastes and also cult heroes. And I'm sorry you haven't had a chance to mention absolutely all of them. But we've been just mobbed.
Great.
Another one for you, Doug Ruthie.
Aberdeen and Chelsea.
Aberdeen and Chelsea. This is from a Chelsea.
Big Doug, having it all day.
Guy Branston at Rotherham. Yeah, he's a good player. Got himself in a pickle occasionally, didn't he? Sorry. Branston, you say? Yeah. Sorry. Goodness me! I can't believe that went over your head.
But I'm holding up a yellow card at the same time.
Oh, it deserves a red, never mind a yellow. Tom says, how about Fabrizio Ravanelli for Middlesbrough? Not Middlesbrough fan, but I remember some absolutely brilliant goals and, more importantly, brilliant celebrations as well.
He played at Dundee as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, Fabrizio Ravanelli.
I'll bet you, but I'm sure he did.
Lee trucking up the M1.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Not only did Ravanelli play there, Canizia played at Dundee as well.
All right, yeah. He was a player as well.
Oh, he's definitely won the World Cup with Maradona, didn't he?
Lee trucking up the M1 says cult hero Leeds United, David Batty.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He bats,
right, still to come before White and Jordan return at 10. We'll be joined by the frontman of the script, Danny O'Donoghue, who'll be speaking about their brand new album, their forthcoming tour, and Man United's chances this season. We'll also have your favourite former referee, and mine, Chris Foy, here to tell us why VAR will work better and quicker this season. But forget the refs, the Premier League is back.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning.
Good morning. It's been a summer of football across the talkSPORT network, hasn't it? Full of highs, full of lows.
Arsenal, for the first time in 22 years, are champions of the Premier League. Manchester City are changing manager in the summer.
A huge honour to represent this club. I love you so much.
Tottenham Hotspur are safe. Sunderland fans, get your passports out. It is a night of Villa glory. England beaten in a World Cup semi-final again.
And now we're ready to do it all over again.
So come on.
Radoni is there again.
Ipswich Town have done it again. Promotion back to the Premier League.
Comes to Mbani, off the goalkeeper in it. Haaland, 1-1. Terrific goal. Bruno Fernandes. João Pedro equalises. Headed in by Havertz.
It's time to shut.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, the Wait Over Premier League is back. We've got you covered here on talkSPORT. Of course, we have 120 live commentaries throughout the season. Starts this Friday night. Coventry go to Arsenal, the champions, live on talkSPORT. What a start that is for Frank Lampard and his son. So, as always, ahead of a new season, we like to do some predictions. Let me put that another way. We are forced to do some predictions. So, to kick us off, player of the season, Ali, you can go first.
That's tough, isn't it? Tough. Try to predict. You look at the teams that will do well. Doesn't necessarily mean the player of the season is going to come from there, but I think there's a higher chance that they all come from there. But teams that do well, I think Arsenal will have another great season. Not just for the fact the way they played at the weekend, but added to that, I just think the players that they brought to the squad has indeed strengthened them. I think Declan Rice will have another fantastic season. I think Odegaard coming off a great World Cup. There'll be slight question marks against those two, and probably Saka as well, how they handle the season after the World Cup, and whether there's any fatigue at all sets in. But
season kicks off quite soon, you know.
I know, I'm aware of that, and that's why I'm going Saka. I think Saka will have a magnificent season in the right hand side for Arsenal.
You look at strikers, you've got to. I think Isak's got to have a better season than Haaland again. But I'm going Martin Odegaard because he had a great World Cup, and he started this season, in the Community Shield brilliantly. And if he's back to the player he was a couple of seasons ago, oh my goodness, love him.
I'm a shame. It's just a different level. The way he drops into that right hand side, I was watching him again on Sunday, Jeff. He's brilliant at finding space. See, but he kind of starts central, and he'll find the gap between the midfield and the opposition defence, and invariably that is in front of the opposition left back in that area, left centre back. He drops in there and picks it. He always makes himself available and finds a little bit of space to receive the ball. Brilliant player.
Manager of the season. Yeah,
well, I'm taking Arsenal to win it, so the obvious answer would be Arteta. But remiss of me to not mention one or two others.
Go on.
Excuse me. I'm expecting big things from at Forest, Oliver Glasner.
Oh, okay.
I do. I think he'll do well. I think he did a fantastic.
Well, he'll have to do well because he'll be out the door in 2 months otherwise.
Well, he will. There's no doubt about that. But I think they've got a lot of things going for them. Forest, I think he did I think we're in agreement. An unbelievable job at Palace. And I think Palace will clearly miss him, although the new fella's got to be given a chance. I think Forest will do okay this year again. I do think they'll do okay. I think Glasgow will get a mention. The rest of them will be interesting to see. I think any of the promoted clubs, if they keep them in a division,
contender immediately. If you keep
absolutely,
them in a division.
And I think out of the teams, I think I'm with you. I think Coventry. I know I think John maybe said in the betting, did he say Ipswich were biggest favourites to stay up? I would think Coventry might have the best chance out of the three.
Yeah, no, Coventry for me. And if Ipswich was spent.
Yeah, I know they have, yeah. And if they stay up, Frank will come into the run.
Yeah, I agree with you about the managers at the bottom three, and I think that De Zerbi could have a fantastic season. I think Daniel Farke could have a great season at Leeds as well, but I'm going to go for Xabi Alonso. I think he...
Chelsea.
Yeah, if he needs to prove himself again, then I think he will at Stamford Bridge. Young player of the season.
Interesting. I think Nico O'Reilly's been fantastic. He'll come into the equation. I'm expecting massive improvement and more consistency from Florian Wirtz. Adam Wharton's a player I really enjoy watching. Really enjoy watching. I think he's a terrific passer of the ball. You watch him, ball comes to him, first thing he does is look forward. If you're a forward playing Adam Wharton, you're in heaven, because he'll find you, fire into your feet or fire it in behind. But Rio Ingamoa at Liverpool,
yeah,
I am really looking forward to seeing
he's
this.
given his head.
Well, I think he will. I'm not going to say for a minute he was kind of held back with Salah and people like that, because Salah's one of the best players the league's ever seen. But he was a kind of player I was wanting to see more of, Jeff, and I think we'll see more of him next season. And I think he'll light the place up again.
Yeah. For me, look, hasn't been much to shout about for Newcastle pre-season.
Yep.
But I think this could be a big season for Lewis Miley. He's a player I really like him.
Jeff,
you know? Forced to play fullback at times.
He was superb at right back.
I know, but he's midfield player, and I love him. I think he's a super
I don't disagree.
footballer. So yeah. Top scorer, well, this should be pretty straightforward, really, shouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you're expecting improvement and massive things from Isaac. Thiago had a brilliant season last season.
There's only one name, though, isn't there? Only one name.
Absolutely.
Has to be Erling Haaland.
Yep.
And even if they finish 7th, as Piercy thinks they will, it's still going to be Erling Haaland,
I think so.
Okay, so signing of the season then, Coisty.
Do you know who I think will do well? I really do think he'll do well. I don't think he played he didn't play particularly well at the weekend. I'm still expecting big things from Elliot Anderson. You know, he kind of played in the right-hand side position at the weekend there. And I wouldn't say he looked lost. There was nothing going for Manchester City at the weekend at all. I still think he will have a fantastic season at Manchester City, Elliot Anderson.
Yeah. For me, it's another big money signing, and you might guess I think Chelsea are going to have a good season. So for me, Morgan Rogers.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see the best of him at the World Cup because he wasn't playing, you know. But I mean, look, it could easily be Danny Welbeck as well, by the way, because that could be a brilliant signing. But Morgan Rogers, for me, I think he's just a fantastic footballer.
Are we going to see more of Max Dowman and boys like that, do you think? We hope so.
I don't think we will.
No, I know.
You know,
you look at them beside Solis, they've got
the players
Martinelli.
They've got, you know, it's hard. Look, they've got things like the League Cup, obviously.
Would you send them out on loan then and go and play somewhere?
I don't know, because you want to look after someone like Dowman, so young. You want to look after him, don't you? You know, so I'm not so sure. But look, the Premier League returns to talkSPORT this week, and the official launch date actually is today. So you'll hear from the likes of Howard Webb. Well, I'll keep you listening, won't it? Victor Gyökeres and Frank Lampard, all live on talkSPORT from 3 o'clock this afternoon. Why is Howard Webb first on that list? Why have we put Howard Webb before Victor Gyökeres and Frank Lampard? Come on, give me a clue, someone. Cult heroes,
Howard
Webb, shall we? Super Bob Taylor at West Bromwich Albion.
Oh, yeah.
James says Franny Benali at Southampton.
You
loved him
that.
growing up. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's Jumbo the trucker who says that. And here's what I've got to mention this one because I'll be in big trouble otherwise. Jimmy in Oakley says Dave Challoner at Tranmere was big mate of mine.
And I'm thrown in with Robbo at Hearts, John Robertson at Hearts.
Yeah, brilliant. Look, keep them coming. If you've got anybody we haven't mentioned so far and we think somebody's been overlooked, do let us know. Kevin Bird, apparently the cult hero at Mansfield Town. He would have run through fire for the Stags, sadly taken from us a couple of years ago. Mick in Mansfield, thank you very much for that.
One of the older ones I'm throwing in, Joe Work at Motherwell. There's one for the older generation. Joe Work, Motherwell.
And here's one for, Leicester fans need something to cheer them up, don't they?
Yeah.
Steve Walsh.
Yeah, big Walsh.
Leicester, absolutely. Next up, we'll be joined by the frontman of the script, Danny O'Donoghue, talking about their brand new album, their forthcoming tour, and Man U's chances this season.
wouldn't swap one Europa for one Prem.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Two.
obviously.
You're swapping two, Jay. You are.
Don't know.
Jay, you are.
Maybe two. Don't know, though. Like, them nights as a final, you've been in cup finals. Them nights, you never give them
Jay,
up.
I've been two. And do you know what? I don't want to bring it up, yeah? You cost me one of them.
What do you mean I cost you one of them?
You missed the pen.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. I didn't see you taking one.
I said to Harry, I'll take one.
No.
Five.
No. Let's have this out. Don't be blaming me for your Carabao Cup loss, all right? Because I took the first pen and Darren Bent was nowhere to be seen.
I'm going to tell you the exact truth of what happened.
No,
At the time, I was a penalty taker. I said to Harry, I'll take one. He said, no, you take five. I went,
no, Robin King took five.
No, I was supposed to take five.
Right.
And he said, you took one. So it never got to me. I never got to take one.
Yeah, but the fifth penalty on that night was Robbie Keane.
No, it's me.
Nah, you're lying.
Ask Keno. I don't know if you can remember, but...
Nah, you're lying.
I was five.
You're lying.
I was a penalty taker at the time. So
why don't you take one?
Because I said to Harry, he said, no, five.
Nah, I disagree, mate. I think you bottled it.
Hey, listen. Have you seen the pen, Bill? I
did not cost you a Carabao Cup.
You did, mate.
Where were you in the 90 mins?
That could have been two, mate. That could have been two for me. That, but no. Cheers, Jake.
That still haunts me, that does.
Does it?
Yeah, it hurts my feelings. I think about it a lot.
Ben Foss had the game of his life, mate.
Yeah.
He won man of the match that game as well.
Mate, it hurts. That game's on as well all the time. They play that game a lot. It's such a bad game.
Do you know what, right? I don't really like giving you credit, but I felt for you in the first one because you were playing well in that period.
Oh, I know.
And he left you out completely.
Yeah,
I felt for you in that.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Good morning, 21 minutes past 9. It is Tuesday, August the 18th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. One more cult hero. Martin and Cheadle says Mark Atkins, Super Atco at Blackburn Rovers, moved into central midfield by King Keddy and played a vital role in the Premiership title campaign. Martin, thank you very much indeed for that. Right, time now for this.
So let them talk from the cheap seats. We're the ones making hearts beat. If you're winning or losing, raise your hand.
What a band. Unmistakable sound. Matched at over 14 billion streams, 5 million album sales, 6 UK number one albums, 2 US platinum singles. New album out this Friday. I think there's a tour coming up. as well. I'm delighted to say that Danny O'Donoghue joins us now. Morning, Danny.
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning to you. How are you guys?
We're in top
good,
form.
thanks, Danny. Yeah.
Danny, the first thing I'm going to say to you, right, Jeff and I are clearly of a different vintage musically. What does the 14 billion streams mean? Album sales we get. What's this 14 billion streams?
It just means I'm incredibly rich, and there's no taking me off the top of the mountain. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
brilliant.
I'll get up. Even though as early as this is, I will get up to talk all about how famous and how successful I am. Yeah,
love
it. Basically, in today's day and age, it really means, that it's more of an inclusive society. Whereas, like, it used to be, okay, you'd only sell records in the UK or Ireland and stuff, but because of the World Wide Web, because of social media, your music goes places I've never even been, so we're very, very blessed and very lucky that we've had songs like Hall of Fame, which are universally recognised as those big anthems that everybody walks out to, the big sports anthems,
Brilliant, yeah. I mean, new album out. You got a tour coming up as well. Where's your favourite place to go on tour?
Dublin is always one for me that is always it's brilliant. But again, I don't have to go to find Dublin because I'm there already. Yeah. But I really loved, the Philippines for me is we're probably the biggest per capita in the Philippines. We just put on nearly three stadiums in a row over there. So we're absolutely delighted. It's we started off playing the Araneta Coliseum where Ali and Fraser had that amazing fight all those years ago. And now we've gone to the Mall of Asia over there too. So it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, I love the Philippines for the food as well.
Well, you're really, really busy. Where do you have the time, mate, for your football and your boxing? Because you're a big sports fan.
Oh, huge. Well, to be honest, I'm getting to the age now where I kind of want to, keep my fitness and keep everything I have. So boxing was something that came along in literally the last 5 years. I did combat sports. I did Muay Thai for about 3 years, and then I tore my meniscus, and then I just went into the stand-up game. So I really enjoy sparring. I'm training maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and it just keeps the head straight, because because our band member Mark passed away, I went down a bad path, drink, alcohol, the whole shebang, and I just find that it's for people getting into my age in their 40s. It's a great way to get all of that angst from the week out. I'm recently married as well, so it gets all of that angst out as well. But no, I firmly believe it's an amazing thing for men to get out there and get physical.
Yeah. If you need any tips, by the way, on good eating, Danny, McCoist is the man for you, breaded fish, chips, brown sauce, beetroot.
There's a hint of sarcasm in there, Danny, in case you never noticed, mate.
I think Irish people made sarcasm. Yeah, no, but I know 100%. Yeah. But I just love the training, and over the years I've gotten to train with some amazing trainers everywhere we go. Like I said, Hall of Fame. A boxer has either walked out to it or they trained to it and stuff. So everywhere I go, I call up places like Dominic Ingle up in Sheffield. I went training with him. And then quite recently, I flew to LA. And while we were there, I got to meet Freddie Roach. And I was just training in Wildcard Gym. And he came over and he said, you want to have a little fun? And I was like, what do you mean by a little fun? He's like, do you want to come downstairs to spar? And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I went downstairs, and myself and Jimbo, who also wrote Man in the Arena with me, we went down, and Freddie, I guess he liked us, so he wanted us to come back 3 times a week. So we did for 8 weeks. So I had my very own fight camp with Freddie Roach. It was brilliant. I'm absolutely loving it.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Not bad at all, yeah. So look, I mean, The User's Guide to Being Human, new album. Yeah. Okay. You've been going for 20 odd years now. How difficult is it to keep progressing, to keep things fresh, to keep things different?
Yeah, that's kind of what we set out on this album to do, is to almost just ferment what is going on in society and how I feel about it, because I don't know how everyone else feels, but I just know how I feel. And I know I'm terrified of tech and impending and social media and doom scrolling and just slowly seeing what it's doing to society. And I just came up with this idea for a song when I was in LA. And I was on the side of the street, and there was a homeless guy on the ground, and there was a delivery robot, which is so bizarre to see, trying to get past him. And he was kicking at the delivery robot, and it was such a dystopian future that I was living in. And I turned around and a Waymo passed by, which is a driverless car, and then 2 Teslas. And I'm like, the future isn't this far away, crazy place. It's actually here. It's right now. So we wrote this song called The User's Guide to Being Human. And it just started off the album. We felt like, well, what if we went off to a different planet and we had to start the human race all over again? You know, it would be amazing to have a guide or a user's guide to know. Even just being born today, what was it like to be human? Even when we were growing up, you know, kind of using jumpers for goalposts and you'd be out all day and stuff like that. So yeah, we wrote the album. And then we're promoting it in a brand new way as well. We have all these little mini micro dramas, which are for social media and people who keep doom scrolling. We've actually come up with these dramas that have like an EastEnders style ending on them. But also the soundtrack to that is the music. So before you've watched all of these micro dramas and then the short, which is 16 minutes, you've pretty much heard all our brand new album. So yeah, that's kind of how we keep it fresh, is try to take whatever kids are doing these days and then shove it in their back in their own mouth.
It's absolutely amazing what you're saying there, Danny, because what you said, what you saw in LA, man, I've got to be honest with you, from my own point, it actually scares me a little bit. Although it intrigues me, it scares me a little bit. Now, just when you thought it was safe, mate, you're not safe. We're not to talk Manchester United. What are you expecting this year?
Oh, no. Do you know what? I'm optimistic, right, as always, because I love Carrick and I think he did a great job last season. But I fear that we might be in the same spot that we were with all of our previous managers. That I don't think so far in the transfer window, I don't think he's been backed hard enough. Like I said, this is no information that all of the Man United fans don't know. Is our net spend is about 30-40 million, and you compare that to the 3 teams that have been promoted this season. You know, Coventry, Ipswich, and Hull. It pales in comparison. I think we got some good signings in. You know, Santos, I think, is going to be great from Chelsea, obviously, and then Tielemans, I think, will back up the midfield. But I think we're maybe we were 1 or 2 midfielders away, a left back and a backup striker. Because again, look, last season, if you look at it, we had no European games, so we were playing 1 game a week.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the strength and depth seems to be. I mean, I liked last season's signings. The likes of Mbeumo and Cunha. I think they've come in and transformed the team and given us a bit of belief. But I think, like I said, I'm very optimistic. But I'm, fingers crossed the whole way.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Danny, look, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck with the tour. Good luck with the album.
All the best, Danny. Thanks very much, mate.
Tickets are on sale. That's what I meant to come on and promote, was tickets are on sale for the tour. We're going up and down the length and breadth of the UK, Ireland, and the rest of the world. So get your tickets now. They're going really fast.
I might make that.
Guys.
I'll struggle the Philippines, Danny, but I might make that one.
Yeah. Hey, you'll be playing to full houses everywhere, Danny. We're absolutely sure of that. Well done, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. See you guys soon.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
And the new album, by the way, The User's Guide to Being Human, is out now. Frontman of the Script, huge Man United fan, Danny O'Donoghue. Andy Hessenthaler of Gillingham says, Spencer, as an unsung hero, you are so right. Ross says Johnny Martin at Airdrie.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Johnny. Character. Real character.
Modern day cult hero, says John. Bobby Firmino. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So would I.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
would I.
And just one last one here. BDC says, hero from Newcastle, John McNamee. Who can forget the shouts of "let him out of his cage" when he was on the subs bench? Coming up, former Premier League ref Chris Foy is on the show to try and convince me that officiating will be better this season. Chris will be trying and probably failing next.
Cricket, what? But I know Chelsea had a deadline for Fernandes, but it looks like Rodri's obviously on his way to Spain, Barcelona. I think he's going over there today. Would they go back in? It seems common sense, and particularly after watching that yesterday, would they go back to Chelsea, do you think, City?
I think it's almost nailed on that they're going to chance their arm there. Rodri deal was agreed overnight, £65 million, which is always the magic number. As far as Manchester City are concerned, he's agreed a 4-year deal. They're going to sell Tijani Reinders as well. those transfer fees combined will be enough to match Chelsea's £120 million asking price for Enzo Fernandez. Now, obviously, sources telling us on Friday that the 5 o'clock deadline had passed. No written bids have been received. Therefore, Enzo Fernandez would stay a Chelsea player. I'm not convinced that was as hard a deadline as maybe it's being made out.
What about Jamie Vardy, Crookie? We're reading reports that he's had an offer from Brazil.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because Jamie Vardy still looks in top physical condition. Obviously did pretty well in his stint over in Italy. I think he'd prefer a return to English football, if I'm honest, but I wouldn't totally rule out a move to Brazil. Who knows, that might be the next chapter of the documentary that I've just started watching about his incredible career. But he's certainly got no shortage of interest. Sheffield Wednesday, his boyhood club, of chance are on, but I think financially that's quite a difficult deal for the Owls to do.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting challenge?
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Cult heroes. Andy Saville says Innie. Preston's cult hero. What a guy Sav was. And Simon in Darlington says cult hero for the Darlow. Marco Gabbiadini probably at Sunderland as well.
Yes,
I would suggest there. And Dave says West Bromwich Albion, big Darren Moore cult hero. And Kieran Gills sent me a message, said enjoying the naming of cult heroes on talkSPORT this morning. Could name a few for pools. Adam Boyd, absolutely. Joel Porter, absolutely. Dimmy Constantopoulos, Richie Humphreys, and so on and so forth. Kieran, you are absolutely right. Just don't want to talk about Hartlepool all the time. Well, I do, I'm not allowed to. Okay, time now for this.
The 150th anniversary test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army.
Do you come from a land down under?
Listen up, fancy winning an all-expenses-paid trip for two to Melbourne?
Yes.
Next March?
answer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thanks to Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army, you could be at the MCG watching England take on Australia at the 150th anniversary test match.
I would be staggered if you and I are not doing the show from there, Jeff.
Yeah, I think we
We're
will.
talking 5-day match tickets in the Barmy Army section, 7 nights hotel and exclusive pre-match function with cricket legends and a day trip to the Great Ocean Road with return flights and spending money included. Head to talksport.com, head to talksportwin.com right now to enter and for full T's and C's.
Just tell us what you said again, because Liam, the boss, is around at the moment. He's listening.
Head to talksport.win.
No, the bit about I would be surprised if we're not presenting the show from there.
right now to join Jeff and myself in Melbourne for that particular cricket match.
Yeah. What do you think our chances are?
Slim and none.
Yeah, slim and none, and Slim just rode out of town. Right, last season, whole lot of headaches when it came to officiating. We saw goals disallowed for smallest of contacts, Stonewall penalties waved away. The PGMOL's changed its name. It's now Pro Refs. Everything will be okay. They'll be hoping for a more smooth sailing season, not just for their own sakes. Oh no, but for this man's too. Games are being re-refereed, Chris. You see it week after week after week. He puts his hand to his earpiece. He's listening to somebody. I'm thinking, who is he listening to?
Hang on a minute then, Jeff.
You boys from the PGMOL, get your heads together to tell us precisely the story which you want to believe. It's like propaganda.
I wouldn't say it's propaganda, Jeff.
How could they get that so horrendously wrong?
I can conclusively confirm that the ball was out, Jeff, so we don't have a problem with that. And
How can you conclusively say, what picture did you see? Chris, you're an ex-referee, why would we trust you?
Jeff, I've been to Hartlepool on a Tuesday night and you trusted me.
All right. It's a very good morning to former Premier League referee Chris Foy. Here we go again, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning, boys. How are you?
Well, we're in top form. You have little faith. He's got no faith at all, Chris. I think the change in name's going to make all the difference.
Well, there you go, Pro Ref. That's what it is, isn't it? It's the former Premier League referees and Championship referees are one now.
Yeah.
They're all working together. More training, more education, more development, more reviewing, more support. Season's bright. Can't wait for it to get going on Friday. Albeit we did start last weekend in the AFL.
Yeah. Chris, so will there be a bigger pool of officials officiating at Premier League matches?
Well, there's more opportunities, Jeff, for people now, whereas we just had Select Group 1 and one or two people got an opportunity. We've seen a couple of promotions this year, and we've also got a future talents group within that, a pool of young and up-and-coming referees. So competition is healthy, and the future's looking really bright.
Chris, could you tell us, mainly for the listeners and ourselves, briefly, some of the new rules that we'll be seeing introduced this season?
Yeah, well, we saw quite a few of them in the World Cup, didn't we? So I think what's really important in the game is time, ball in play. So we'll see the 5-second rule for the goal kicks and the throw-ins. I think that's really important. But we've also seen a change this year because of the goalkeeper sitting down that drove everybody mad, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the tactical timeout where a player came off, grabbed a piece of paper, changed formation. Obviously now if the goalkeeper goes down, an outfield player's got to go off to field the play for a minute, which is really positive. We really like that. That's a good trial. So we're looking forward to that one. And we've seen a change to hair pulling, which is something that a lot of people last season got confused with, got upset with, because there was a consistency in relation to hair pulling where if you actually did that, you would get sent off. Well, the competitions have come together. They've looked at all the incidents, and what they've said now is that not every hair pull is an automatic red card. So we've got a situation where if you aggressively pull in a violent manner, it's brutality, it'll be red. If it's reckless, it'll be yellow. And obviously there might be an occasion where you make contact with the hair where play will be allowed to continue. And I think that's a really sensible approach to that, because last season, as I said, there was a couple or three where people were saying, is that really a red? And I think now that really is a sensible approach and one that everybody's accepting.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's great that most of the changes are made to speed up games.
Of course they are.
No question about that. And we've seen some of them already in operation in the EFL. Will Lancashire, for instance, took too long to go off in Middlesbrough's. It was the League Cup game, wasn't it? So had to wait a minute to come on. I saw it at Aldershot Hartlepool where, the throw-in was awarded the opposite way after an Aldershot player took longer than 5 seconds with the ball. Mind you, we still had 9 minutes at a time at the end, which was slightly head-scratching. I think, I'm not a great fan of VAR, Chris, but what I do think is a good thing is that you can now have a VAR for a second yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good, isn't it, this season, where we will see if there is a clear error on a second yellow card, that can be reviewed. I think VAR is getting a little bit wider now, isn't it, with its remit? We're seeing that more and more. And there's nothing worse, when a referee makes a decision, gives a player a second yellow card that's completely wrong, and the VAR couldn't intervene on that. So that's a good move as well this season. I think that's a really positive one.
Chris, here's an interesting one. The Premier League will permit audio of on-field conversations between players and referees during live broadcasts for the first time this season. Now, I think it's a good thing. Will the vast majority of referees think it's a good thing?
Well, I think firstly, Ali, I don't think you would have thought it was a good thing when you were playing.
No, I wouldn't. You're not wrong, mate. You're absolutely. But once again, it's poach your turn, gamekeeper, mate.
me too. Well, we've seen over recent seasons, haven't we, Howard Webb with his mic'd up refs where they released the audio, and I read about that this morning. I think, listen, the way football is going, we saw it in the World Cup, didn't we, with ref count every game. You could see it, you were on the pitch. We saw some examples of that last year in the Premier League, and this is taking it to the next level. Obviously, it won't be in play this weekend. There'll be some trial matches, and it's the Premier League season launch today, and I'm pretty sure that Howard Webb will speak about that a little bit more. But listen, it's drawing the curtain back and letting people see more into the life of what it's like being a referee. Jeff, you might want to join in.
Yeah. Look, I've done my Sunday morning refereeing, Chris. I know what it's like. But that, hearing the conversations go on, this will not be the case if it's incidents that have gone to VAR. So it was less controversial moments. Just on a slightly different topic, Chris. How disappointed are you that Anthony Taylor's not going to be refereeing this season?
I worked with Anthony when I was on the Premier League. He obviously came into the group. I worked with him. He was a terrific referee. Had a fantastic career. And when I got knocked out at Newcastle, he came on and took over. So he was good in that respect as well. I'm one of very few that was surprised. I think the Spain-Portugal game in the World Cup was his last appointment, which was a fabulous game. And obviously he's gone on to pastures new. He's gone to Turkey now. He's got a really good job. He'll enjoy that, I'm pretty sure. And he's not the first English referee to go abroad, so I wish him good luck. But what it does, it opens the door for more referees to stick, just put their hand up and say, listen, I'm ready.
Yeah, brilliant. And of course, we will give them an absolutely fair chance before we batter them, Chris. Thanks, mate. I look forward to the season. All the best, mate.
Yeah, have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks a lot, mate. Remember, the season gets off and running with a bang this Friday night. Premier League champions Arsenal home to newly promoted Coventry City. 8 o'clock kickoff. Playoff winners Hull have Man United at home Saturday lunchtime, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. And Fulham Chelsea is the Monday night game. One more cult hero for you. Paul says Super John McGinley at Bolton.
Yeah,
remember him?
I think we might have mentioned him.
Have we?
I think we might have
mentioned him twice.
Yeah, good enough to mention twice, John. There.
Now, look, the officer's convinced that after this morning's brilliant set of cult heroes, that actually Ali has no real idea what a cult hero is. So we'll ask him about that next. Joe, very satisfying. Bit of a statement. Just remember, it's only a glorified friendly.
First of all, I want to say a big good morning to the talkSPORT listeners. It's a fantastic Monday morning, isn't it? It is for sure. Listen, guys, Jeff, Ali, who's going to beat us this season? You tell me. Who is going to take over in the city of London? Who?
On that evidence, nobody.
Nobody.
Right. But
Chelsea.
I think Chelsea.
It's premature, Jeff. It's premature.
Well, it's premature. You're saying who's going to beat us?
We've won the trophy available to win.
Yeah,
we've done it.
It's difficult for you guys not to get carried away after that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be overly worried about Manchester City's performance. Although, with the golf in that particular game, I would be slightly concerned.
Ali, I have to add, it is time to get excited. It's time to get super excited because I don't think there's a time in the league where it's been more open for us to dominate. I mean, if you look at Liverpool, Areola, we don't know what he's going to do. You're talking about Alonso. We're raving about a manager, and you've seen the ins and outs of Chelsea. It's not even stable there yet. I've just seen recently that Nicholas Jackson, who's been one of their best players in the pre-season, he's in the bomb squad with Liam Delap. You turn around, you look at Man City, it's looking shaky. You look at Aston Villa. There's no point you getting me in the morning with Gabby anymore. There's no point. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing, Gabby. I'm not going to see you again, mate. We're that far gone.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. It's just about 10 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Cult heroes, Sergei Baltacha at St Johnstone.
Oh, yeah, Sergei.
It's from Chris in Perth. Was he good?
Oh, great player. He played in that Dynamo Kiev team in the Ukraine. He's a fantastic, and his daughter was Elena, who tragically passed away earlier, the tennis player. Yeah, smashing lad.
Cult hero Neil Redfern at Barnsley.
Yes.
Jake, you're biased. Jake was his next door neighbour. Robin Friday, a lot of people have sent this. Reading this is Chris Dawson in Didcot who sends this. I look Robin Friday up. I've got to be honest, he had 4 years at Reading. He was known as the lower league George Best. That is some blooming accolade, I can tell you that. Now, just like yesterday morning, Jim White back in the studio ahead of his show with Lord Jordan.
How are you, Jim?
Very good, guys. Thank you very much indeed. Good morning, everybody. Simon due to arrive very shortly. We heard you two talking about VAR not being in the championship, Jeff.
Thank goodness.
That handball goal at the weekend. And our own Martin Keown saying it's time to bring technology into the championship. And of course, you can imagine how well that's gone down with some of the fans of championship clubs. He's been called lazy by Adrian Durham on social media this morning, has Martin. And I think you guys say he's out of touch. With the view that he has
on planet.
I don't necessarily think he's lazy.
Yeah,
I just think he's wrong.
But the thing is, how can you be comfortable with a clear handball goal like that being allowed to stand?
It's one occasion. Every fan in the EFL will tell you they prefer it without VAR. And the fans from clubs who've been relegated, the only consolation for them is no VAR. We can live with mistakes. You get the text in. You can live with honest mistakes. It might hurt West Brom fans right now.
I think it's...
But even West Brom fans, they would not want VAR. And it's just not practical either, Jim, because there are 72 clubs in the EFL. It costs a fortune to run VAR. Who's going to pay for it? Not the clubs.
I think it's relatively straightforward. It's relatively straightforward. The clubs don't want it. The fans don't want it. Why give them it?
So I have a question for you both then. Why did they use it in the playoff final?
Because the playoff final... Well... Because during the course, I don't think they should.
Neither do I.
I don't think they should.
But they do.
Yes,
but they do.
Because of the importance of the game.
Well, yeah, but they can't.
And what's riding on it.
Effectively, that's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah. A lot of the grounds that the games in the EFL are played at are not cannot cater for VAR. Well, Wembley can, of course, but if you go to I don't know, Stockport or whatever, they can't cater.
So you two are happy to see a team promoted to the Premier League in a playoff final,
with a
championship playoff final with no VAR, scoring a winning goal like that?
Yes.
No, because
I'm not happy with it.
Wouldn't
I
happen.
can accept it.
Wouldn't happen. Once it happens once in a blue moon.
The fact of the matter is,
by the way, VAR, as we know, there have been so many mistakes, so many errors with VAR.
Who let him
let alone without VAR?
The fact of the matter is, getting back to your point,
you can't so many more decisions right than wrong.
But you cannot have VAR for no matter what game it is within the same tournament. You can't have it for one game and not have it for others.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
EFL fans, okay. White and Jordan coming up, swamp them. Swamp them with text telling them that you do not want VAR in the EFL.
Okay? And should they want it in the championship playoff final because they've got it?
You can't have it if you've not had it in the tournament before.
But they have it. They use it. They shouldn't use it in the championship playoff final.
If it's used
the most lucrative game in football.
If it's used in...
If you two had your way, in that game with no VAR, a dodgy goal could send the wrong team up.
Correct, because that's
Jim,
life.
That's fine.
Jim, you know what?
I don't think it's good, but it's life.
So you two are happy to support a flawed system.
There is not one...
But it's a flawed system if you have VAR in it, but not have it for the rest of the tournament.
And there is not one football fan out there who cares that it's the most lucrative game in football. All they care about seeing their team win.
They do.
And get
they like the money that comes with it.
No, fans don't care.
This
fans
is
want to see their team promoted. That's all they care about. No fan goes to Wembley and thinks, oh my goodness, think of the money we can make out of this. Of course they don't.
All right.
People, football
There's
fans...
a winning goal, winning off his fist, but who cares?
Football fans, generally speaking, Jim, will more than accept honest mistakes.
All right. Yeah. I wonder if the two of you will be as animated when you react to Bedag Bally winning the power battle, it seems.
No, because we won't care.
The Chelsea boardroom.
Won't make any difference.
That Todd Bowley is selling his stake. And Ali, I was thinking about you as I sauntered into the studio. Rangers meeting Celtic. In the League Cup, don't worry, you're not off the hook yet.
No, I don't know. I'll give him half a dozen tickets.
Now, of course, the last time we had a cup game at Ibrox between the two old firm giants, we saw what happened there.
Scandalous.
The away allocation is a big talking point. What should it be?
I'd give him the corner.
You give?
Oh, there's quite a lot in the corner, Jeff. Come on. They cannot get the whole broom loan. Give them a corner.
Which would accommodate about 2,000, or maybe not. No, not as many as that.
Oh, it's more than 2,000.
But in
well, I mean, they stick us in the corner. We can't see the pitch at Celtic Park.
But in the interests of the best possible atmosphere. And that's what we want. You and I are old enough to remember when Hampden was like
and
a 50-50
that's the best
split.
Atmosphere.
That's the best atmosphere.
That's not up for debate. 50% at Hampden is the best atmosphere.
Are you with me in that we want as many Celtic fans in that stadium at Ibrox as we can in the interest of the atmosphere?
I'm losing you a bit, Jim.
But it's got to be safe.
The signal's going a bit there, Jim.
Right.
Jim, you just came in to cause trouble, didn't you?
And you succeeded.
You just came in to cause trouble.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Jim.
Jim White showed no emotion as he was jailed for 12 years. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Jim. Middlesbrough legends Tony Mowbray or Bernie Slaven, absolutely.
Yes.
Rob says Clive Mendonca at Charlton, Per Franson at Bolton, and Lee says a few cult heroes at Chelsea: Mark Stein, Gavin Peacock, and Wayne Bridge.
Did they accuse me of not knowing the difference between a cult hero and a legend, didn't they? Yeah. Which is absolute nonsense. Of course I do. I accept I might have got it wrong with John Robertson, who's probably more of a legend than a cult hero. But I do know the difference. Yeah. Absolutely. You don't have to be an absolute superstar to be a cult hero.
Yeah, as you pointed out a few times with some of the names you come up with today.
Thank you very much.
Just finally, Coyce, after Tony Mowbray went viral discussing his favourite chocolate bars, last Friday on The Breakfast Show, Big Al and Ray Party Parlour got a bit carried away with some chocolate chat. Have a listen to this.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Oh, I like a bounty.
Oh, no.
And you'll see
Twix. Love a Twix.
To your imagination.
Anything you don't like?
I love a Twix. I like fruit and nut, yeah.
You like them
With
all?
a spin, travelling in the world of my creation.
Cherry's chocolate orange.
Number two.
Number two.
Number two. You can't beat a bit of that. Hey, what about a chunky Kit Kat? Oh, magic. What about Aero? You don't get Aero in there?
If you want to view paradise.
What?
Snicker.
I love a Snicker.
And view it.
Okay, dairy milk.
Ooh, one.
Anything you want to do it.
I love it after a meal.
Half egg mutual.
Want to change.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, not bad.
Nothing to
Ripple. Oh, beautiful. A Mars bar. We've not mentioned Mars bar, have we? Chocolate orange as well.
I know to
So you're back with Big Al. Go on, what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Well, it's not really a bar, but will you give me Maltesers?
Yeah, of course it was.
You can't beat taking 2 or 3, sticking them in the top of your roof of your mouth and letting them melt. Yeah, that's it. And Big Al's got his miles away. Kit Kat and Twix are biscuits.
Yeah, but I would say Kit Kat as well.
Yeah, I love a Kit Kat, but it's a biscuit.
It's a chocolate biscuit.
Yeah,
it's a wafer chocolate biscuit.
Yeah, but chocolates bars, like he mentions, like Snickers and Mars bar and the old Marathon and things like that.
Yeah.
But Maltesers, 3 of them in the mouth, roof of the mouth, let them melt.
The problem is you're on a drive and you get a giant bag of Maltesers. And unfortunately, you can't stop. Can you? And you get to your destination, no Maltesers, just feeling sick as a dog. You know, but you've eaten them all. I love, it's not a chocolate bar, but I love those Lindt chocolate bunnies and chocolate reindeers and chocolate Santas. That's my favourite.
They're different class. If you're going to be like that about it, Christmas, you can't beat a Ferrero Rocher. Yeah.